Welcome to Game Changer World, John. How are you doing tonight?
Doing great. Better yet, I'd like to ask the man himself, Mr. OJ Simpson. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing good. Just coming out here and killing time, like OJ Simpson. Yeah.
Man, listen, first off, thank you so much for being on here. We've got fans coming in, chats blowing up. I'll just say welcome and hello to everyone. I don't want to be killing too much time tonight for everyone, but East Coast correspondent, West Coast correspondent, both our guys are in here. Chat. Yeah, I'll just move on. B, is there anything you wanted to mention before we just get on with Joey's intro real quick at all?
No, I know the intro is going to take a lot of time, and Joey's time is precious. So let's get right on into the intro.
Very precious.
Yeah.
Got lobsters waiting for him, man.
Wawa sandwich.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, yeah, take it easy for a minute here. I got a nice little thing written up to catch everybody up on what you've done here. Listeners, we have a very special guest with us tonight. The body guy, the zebra kid, the bad boy, Joey Janela. I like jumping Joey Janela. One of New Jersey's finest. He's built out of Asbury Park with 20 years in the business. He's wrestled a total of 1,178 documented matches. More than that exists. And he is tied with the most matches he's wrestled in 1 year at 116 twice, once in 2017 and once in 2023. Overall, he averages over 65 matches a year. Outside of GCW, Joey's made appearances for NWS, the Jersey staple, 5-year run, 113 matches, a 3-time cruiserweight champion. CZW, 4-year run, 84 matches, including winning the CZW Wired Championship 4 times, the infamous roof spot with Zandig. Beyond Wrestling, 14 years, 51 matches. You and David Starr went back and forth for 3 years, culminating in that 60-minute Iron Man match. Defy, 7 years for only 14 but amazing matches, averaging 26 minutes per match, not to mention also the 60-minute Iron Man match with Nick Wayne that won the Defy Match of the Year in 2024. PWG, 2 years, 19 solid matches, including BOLA appearances in 2017, 2018, and 2019. That's where I first saw you. AEW, 4-year run for 76 total matches, one of the first talent signed, also the first ever of AEW's official pay-per-view premiere, Double or Nothing 2019 on the buy-in. Great match at Moxley with at Fyter Fest 2019. Joey's a 33-time champion, averaging 182 days per major title reign. That's exactly 1/2 of a year. He's also the current Vanguardia Extraordinario champion, 1,084 days in running, his longest career title reign to date. Also the Greektown Wrestling champion, 146 days. A short list of some of the most notable title reigns: a 5-time DDT Ironman heavy metal champion, a 3-time PWS Suicidal 6-way champion totaling 351 days, a 2-time GCW World champion totaling 204 days. Notable stables and tag teams: Team Janela with Penelope Ford, 2017-2018, Slither with Chris Dickinson, 2019, Janela and Sonny Kiss, 2020 and 2021, and Janelasis with Megan Bain since 2024. I also want to just throw in there for fun, we had Team High Flyers with Mikey Pacifica, 08 through 10, and Philly Whiz Kids with Travis Blake, 08 and 09. Excuse me. Joey's participated in 48 tournaments in his career and made it to the semifinals 30 times, the finals 15, winning 3. The AIW JT Lightning Memorial Tournament 2018, the Acid Cup in 2016, and the JCW Tag Team Jersey J Cup in 2014. He's one of the few GCW active day one guys, with his first match at GCW being the first NGI on August 5th, 2015 at the Warren American Legion in Warren, New Jersey. Since then, 255 matches he's had with us and won the GCW World Championship twice, GCW Tag Team titles, and the GCW Extreme title. Debuted on the PWI 500 in 2018 and number 199. His highest ever ranking was this year, number 98. Congratulations. Since his mid-2000s debut, Joey Janela has forged an electrifying and enduring legacy in professional wrestling. His evolution from a self-taught hardcore enthusiast into a multiple-time champion and innovator has captivated global audiences. Janela's resilience is shown across a storied indie career spanning promotions across the world. One of Joey's most profound impacts has been the creation of GCW's Joey Janela's Spring Break. His events have created WrestleMania week spectacles that have redefined independent wrestling. Joey fuses extreme innovation with crossover star power, drawing record crowds for GCW. He also nurtures emerging talent which propels the entire indie landscape into a vibrant era of accessibility and creative liberation. Joey's impact and influence on independent professional wrestling will echo far beyond the ropes, and that is what makes him a game changer. So listeners and fans, after all of that, I just want to say to one of the future Hall of Famers at GCW, I want to welcome with us tonight the bad boy, Joey Janela. How you doing tonight,
You
Joey?
wrote all that?
Yeah, I sat down. I had to do research, went through the whole shebang.
I didn't know half of that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of research, just going back, a lot of interviews, a lot of articles. Cage Match helps out a little bit, and just, yeah, going through and doing some research. It's not a lot of people do it, so it's something we're kind of proud of. You've busted your ass for so long. I think it's nice every now and then for someone to actually, just kind of name it out. And it took, 5 minutes, 4 minutes to go through the accolades?
That was a lot, man. Thank you.
Fuck it, my fat ass is winded after that, man.
I winded too.
All right, so let's just get with the easy question right out the bat. You started watching the WWF. Who were your favorite wrestlers then?
Which year?
Wherever you started.
When I first got into wrestling, of course, Hulk Hogan was number one. Like, for not for me, for almost everyone. Hulk Hogan, the Hunky Tonk Man, Ted DiBiase, guys like that. The guys that I had the Hasbro figures of, and my dad would see Ted DiBiase at Jack Lane at the gym, and that's why I was like, oh wow. I guess he's one of my favorites now that my dad sees you on the treadmill at the gym.
Well, then you, late 90s, mid 90s, you moved on to watching more WCW also. Who was over there that kind of piqued your interest?
The cruiserweights, Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho was a big one. Of course, then they started bringing in like Dennis Rodman, and I was a huge Chicago Bulls fan, as a lot of 90s kids were. You had Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman. The three biggest, of that generation, the three biggest athletes. And for one of them, especially Dennis Rodman, who was just, an enigma in media and sports and stuff, for him to cross over to professional wrestling made you realize, like, wow, this professional wrestling thing is pretty huge. That's when I really got back into it. And then the Attitude Era, of course, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And that was it. Steve Austin, and and then I found ECW. So.
Do you consider that your first independent wrestling company?
Yeah, it was either ECW or NWA Jersey, which was Dennis Carluzzo, which was the biggest indie in New Jersey. It was NWA Jersey. That would be a lot of high school gym shows with a lot of current WWF names that WWF would lend out to Dennis Carluzzo. So you'd see like Val Venus on those shows, or the Headbangers, or Terry Reynolds, or Jim Cornette, and, a lot of people that you'd see on TV. Draws. I have a picture with Draws, Gilbert, the Main Street Posse. A lot of the heavy hitters of but those were cool shows, because then the undercard would be filled with guys like Devin Storm, who turned out to be Crowbar, who's still wrecking it today. Reckless Youth, Steve Carino before ECW. A lot of guys, Ace Darling. A lot of the top tier independent names of that blast off era of indie wrestling, of the Super 8s, were wrestling at NWA Jersey. So it was either that or ECW. I don't know which one came first. I first saw ECW at camp, actually, summer camp. The counselors would record whatever pay-per-view was the night before on a VHS, and then everyone would get in the rec center and go watch it. because
Oh, hell yeah.
wrestling at the time, there was nothing hotter than professional wrestling. It was professional wrestling. It was the Spice Girls. Those were the two hottest things of that era. And I think every young boy my age, they watch mainstream professional wrestling, and then I guess they started bringing in ECW pay-per-views, and putting them on TV. I said, "What the fuck is this?"
No, same thing. I went to a friend's house. He's like, "We're gonna watch ECW." I'm like, "Okay, what the hell is that?" I've never and you don't really. I don't know, when you're raised on WWE, WWF, WCW, you don't think much about those other companies, especially if you haven't heard of them before. And then yeah, I remember going, oh shit, you could do that in wrestling? You can do that? Did he just, and things like that happen, and it just kicked off. I know you talk about Asbury Park. Bam Bam's one of them. Who else do you have over at ECW that you really enjoyed watching back then?
I mean, Rob Van Dam and Sabu, the Sandman, but then he quickly after I started watching, he went off to WCW not long after. Man, there's a lot of guys, but it was a weird. I didn't get in. I wasn't in ECW at the beginning. I had to go back and watch all that when the Cactus Jacks and that whole era of Terry Funks. That whole era of ECW, I had to go back and watch. But when I first started watching, it was that end of 97, 98, 99, 2000s era of ECW. But Van Dam was the one that really comes to mind. And watching Bam Bam was in there at the time, seeing him, having this crazy match with Rob Van Dam or these pay-per-view matches with Taz. That was cool. Seeing this guy go, like, introducing a whole new dimension of Bam Bam Bigelow to me, who I knew previously from watching WWF. So it was cool.
So then could you tell us a story about how you got into the business? Because it's different than normal people's stories.
I mean, I've told this story so many times, and people still run with it that I'm some kind of untrained goon who just backyard wrestled his way into the business, which I kind of did. But after I did initially get my foot in the door, I did go many training schools. I did over 50 seminars with who's who of professional wrestlers. But getting into business, we were backyard wrestlers, and MySpace just dropped. And the first thing I did when I made my MySpace was I went to find all the backyard wrestling companies that were local in my area. So I started contacting them. I said, "We backyard wrestle too in Hazlitt." They're like, "Oh, we're in Middletown." I said, "Oh, let's do cross promotional stuff." So there was a guy there named Dirtbag Dan who we seen at an NWS show. We thought his gimmick was that he was just the shittiest wrestler in the world, and we were like, "We got to see Dirtbag Dan." He is like, his gimmick is he's just a shitty wrestler and he botches everything. And we thought that was his gimmick. He was just really, at the time, just a really shitty wrestler. So we seen him. He was a part of this backyard wrestling company in Middletown, New Jersey. So we're like, "Oh my God, Dirtbag Dan wrestled. We gotta do cross promotion with these guys." So I met them, and Dirtbag Dan was in the. He was in the probably. He was wrestling for NWS and ECBW, shit like that, and he had his foot in the door to get other guys in somehow for whatever it is, setting up ring crew or whatever, security at the shows, whatever the promoter could get away with being a carny and not paying someone to do. Dirtbag Dan had goons that could accommodate those positions, and I want to get my foot in the door in wrestling, and he said, "All right, just come to this show in Carteret, New Jersey." The headliners that night were Paul Bearer and Kamala. He wrestled Tom Brady, Sal Sincere. That was my first time working at an indie show. I think I did security that night. I set up the ring. I took down the ring. I did security, and before the show started, I did bumps and hit the ropes and rolled around. And that was like my initial. That was March 2000 and that was March 2006, I believe. And I had my first match in August 2006. So that was all in parts of me telling the promoter that I was trained under the Rockin' Rebel in Pennsylvania. Was lying, saying, "Yeah, I trained at the Rockin' Rebel School in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania." And he was like, "All right, where do you live?" I said, "I live in Hazlet." And he said, "We got a show in Red Bank. Can you sell tickets to your friends and family and get people in here?" I said, "Yeah." And he gave me an envelope of 50 tickets, and he said, "See what you could sell." And I sold, I think, 3 tickets, and he wasn't really happy about that. I told him I could sell at least 20. Sold 3 tickets, and that was like my actual debut. But I did a match at the Rockin' Rebels School in Phoenixville, some backyard show where the promoter booked us through some other backyarder, and the promoter, before the show started, had his mother call Rockin' Rebel and said that he wouldn't be there because he's in a mental institution.
Oh shit.
So we wrestled. He wasn't really in a mental institution. I think it was just he had 4 tickets sold and he didn't want to pay people. So
Yeah.
he bailed, and Rockin' Rebel ended up running the show. And I did a match with Dirtbag Dan and Corey Havoc, who was another guy I came up with in that through backyard wrestling. And we did a three-way match there, and I ended up being pissed drunk for that at 16 years old. Wrestling my first match. Pissed drunk at Phoenixville, Pennsylvania in front of 4 people because Rockin' Rebel, he had cases that the promoter was now the promoter that was supposed to be running the show at his school was in a mental institution. Rockin' Rebel was like, "We're still going to do a wrestling show, but it's going to be a party too." And he got like 4 30-packs of Coors Light, and he said, "Everyone can drink." And I was like, "All right, I'm 16 years old," but they didn't give a shit. So he'd be like, "You could drink, but the only is Rebel's rule. You have to drink it with your left hand. If I catch the beer in your right hand, you have to chug and grab another." So by the time I wrestled, I was like 12 beers in deep. And that was my first match in the business. I was wasted thanks to Rockin' Rebel, and then he gave us all pizza and mozzarella sticks after. So that was our pay. So it wasn't a hot dog and a handshake. It was a pizza, beer, and mozzarella sticks. And I remember that fondly. That was my first match. But then 3 months later, I did the same match, and that was the show in Red Bank where the promoter was like, "All right, how many tickets can you sell?" And it was the same match. It was me, Dirtbag Dan, and Corey Havoc in a three-way match. And in my second match, which is technically my first match, I don't really consider the drunk match in front of 4 people my first match. That was kind of just the dry run. There was an actual crowd in this place, and I got kneed in the face. I got my lip knocked off. My face basically was hanging off my face, and had to go right to the hospital and get my lip stitched back on, and that was my second match.
Wow. So yeah, when you had just started, like you were saying, you pretty much were a blank slate, and then you started basically peppering in all these trainings. So who were you styling yourself after in the beginning there?
Probably like Tread Acid at the time. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was a big Tread Acid guy. We were watching CCW hard at that time. We were buying the videos from Smart Mark. But we were like, wow, the Tread Acid is so cool. And he was just different from everyone else. He was never really the cleanest with his shit. That's why it was always appealing to me that he would do his moonsaults a little crooked. And there was all these athletes coming in at that time. All these freak athletes that you'd never seen before in wrestling, The Tread Acid was a little bit rawer than those guys. So kind of wanted to be like Tread Acid, because I was never really a super athlete, and I never played any sports like that. and I was always, you know, I wasn't the most athletic person, so that's a guy I can model myself after, and I'm not gonna model myself after some of these guys that were coming in and were just tremendous athletes, like the AJ Styles and the Lokis and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the guys like Trent Acid and Nick Mondo and those guys. CZW was always a little. I like that over Ring of Honor and stuff. So
yeah. So now, looking back, do you feel being naive to the business in the beginning helped you or hurt you from growing?
I think it kind of hurt me a little bit.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get booked in meaningful spots because I always had this stigma around me in the Northeast, that it was a backyarder, that at that time it was like, okay, this guy is a backyarder, at the end of the day, he's a backyard wrestler. So it hurt me a bit until like 2012 and stuff when I started getting bookings a lot more outside of my box.
So then who took you under their wing the most? Do you remember who really kind of held you along there?
I mean, there was a few people, different eras, different people. Around 2009, I started going to the Pro Wrestling Unplugged school, and I was supposed to train under Trent Acid, but Trent Acid was fucked on drugs. So he came in once and was just so fucked up and kind of never showed up again. So there was a wrestler there, Teddy Fine, who was wrestling for Pro Wrestling Unplugged. He was on a team with Drew Blood at the time. He was we really took to this guy, and he took to us, and he was pretty smart on how to put things together and spots together and stuff. So we used to train with him twice a week in I think Pensacola, New Jersey, which, yeah, I think it was Pensacola in South New Jersey. We'd go there once, twice a week to go train with him for a good year or so. So he kind of was the first one to show us, and show me, really how to put together these spots and stuff. And then, guys like Kevin Matthews, I go way back with him. I was probably when I first got in the business, and when he first got released from WWE the first time, So he kind of took me under his wing a little bit, and Danny DeMonto, of course. And for that generation, I think it was probably those are like three guys.
Mm-hmm.
There was guys like Mike Quest, who was, I don't know if you ever heard of him. Mike Quest, he was kind of like Red Titus at the time. We kind of got in the business at the same time, but of course he was trained the right way in Ring of Honor. And me, on the other hand, the backyarder, but we were all doing the same shows. So just like guys like that,
And he's Rhett's part of the Bad Boy. How you got the Bad Boy name, correct?
Yeah. I've always been cool with Rhett, but I think I did some posts on Facebook. I was saying, "Ooh, I'm on this beach," and all the girls are licking their lips like, "Who's this bad boy?" We thought it was so funny. He showed it around to a bunch of the guys at Ring of Honor, and they were like, "Yeah, you should be the bad boy from now on." And I was like, "I guess." And then, fucking, we'd go to like a liquor store, and he would like go, "Who who this guy is?" To the front desk guy, and the guy was like, "Who?" He's like, "This is the bad boy." And that's how I was like, all right, I'm the bad boy now, I guess. So it worked out. It's a lot better than the Zebra Kid and Jumpin' Joey Janela.
Jumpin' Joey, yeah. Starman.
Zebra Prince. And I mean, Starman was cool for a minute.
Hey, if he comes back sometime, not against it.
No. My body's against it being in that one-piece suit. Yeah. I won't look very good. I won't look very, very trim in that suit anymore. I look like Fat Starman. Not that bad.
Oh yeah, Mike. Real fast, I know you brought up Kevin Matthews. How much work were you able to do with him in AEW?
Kevin Matthews, we weren't
Like
there.
behind the scenes. I know. Oh, you weren't there at the same time. Okay.
We weren't there at the same time, which is crazy. A lot of the guys like came up with like Kevin Matthews wasn't there. Pat Buck wasn't there. John Carlo wasn't there when I was there. So
Yeah.
John Carlo was like, now he's like one of the biggest video producers there. So, which is weird because if he was there when I was there, I think things would have gone a little differently.
Earned it. John Carlo earned that position. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
hell of a guy.
I'm just kidding. I talk to him every day.
I was actually going to, since you brought up his name, can you talk about like his importance to the growth of GCW, especially going into Hammerstein? I know he was in charge of a lot of those promos going in there. Talk about his time in GCW.
I mean, I was working for PWS at the time, which was Pat Buck, Kevin Matthews, and another guy, Eric Tapout. It was their promotion, which turned into WrestlePro eventually, what it is today, which is kind of like a regional indie wrestling promotion that does some cool shit sometimes. But he was a fan, and he was making these video packages as a fan about other fans, or I forgot what the initial one was, but it was some kind of video package about this. There was this wrestler, Mike Dennis. He was in PWS. They would give everyone wacky gimmicks. I was fucking Starman. There's another guy, Mike Dennis. They gave him the Bonesaw gimmick from Spider-Man, the Macho Man gimmick. But people weren't really taking to him, so there was like some kind of movement in that crowd. At the time, that crowd was huge. They were drawing 1,500 people a month at the Rahway Rec Center for these shows. So there was a good fan base there. There was like nothing really hot at the time. Jersey All Pro was dead at the time. You know, CCW was dying at the time. So this was kind of the shit, PWS. So the fans were kind of turning on this character, Bonesaw, and there was something called the Boo Saw movement, where everyone would wear these shirts and this, and he made this video package about this whole thing that was going on. And I was like, this is better than anything I've ever seen. This guy's a fan doing this shit. I said, we got to get him on board. So I started getting him to do my stuff. That I got him in the door. He did stuff for me at JCW before it was GCW, and then the biggest one is this video package we made for my return after my roof bump at CCW. And it's still, I think I haven't watched it in years, but I think it's probably still holds up. It's pretty tremendous. And we did this video package, and at the time, no one's seen content like that out of a wrestler, independent wrestler. And kind of I was the start of that, and started that trend. Now people are doing content left and right, their own self-made shit, but John Carlo was the guy at the time, and it led to, me leaving CCW and the start of GCW, and he came with me, and, the video package for Spring Break 1 where I'm homeless on the streets and trying to get people to chip in money for me to wrestle Marty Jannetty, all organic shit that we were just going around trolling people and doing this on the fly. And the payoff was to have Scott Hall come out of a genie lamp and grant me my wish to wrestle Marty Jannetty. And that was kind of what sold the show. People were like, what the fuck is this? We got to be at this show. We got to see Janela wrestle Jannetty. This is tremendous stuff, and that's kind of start of everything, to what GCW is today, not the full blown, it started off as a full blown deathmatch company, but that was the moment we kind of took a left turn there. So a lot of it has to do with him. I'm still in the group chat with him and Brett every day since the beginning. We're still in a little group chat. But
love his vision. He's done so much great work. He went
to WWE, did his thing there, and then he left and he went to AEW, and he's more freedom at AEW to do what he's got to do, But he works hard, and he's all self-trained too, doing that shit, videos and stuff. That's all. no one taught him how to do that. He did it himself. So he's gotten better. So a lot of the cool cinematic video packages you see at AEW are his. He's did it with like the one with Edge, with the Edge's debut package and that Bandito return package. He's done tons of stuff, but he's kind of in charge of his own little posse there. So good for him.
Yeah, it is cool.
He should be cutting me, but at the end of the day, he should be cutting me a check every month. A lot of people should be at AEW cutting me at least, sending me at least $100 a month.
Well, that will kind of go into the next fan question here. James Nader asked, can you talk about how you got booked for the first all-out pre-show for AEW, and what was it like in the locker room? Was it as big of a moment as it seemed?
Initially, I wasn't booked at the all-out pre-show. It was the first show I was booked in was All In. Was the initial was the big show. That was the kickoff of everything, and I was a hot indie name at the time. And, I just wanted to shoot my shot, and I hit up Cody. I said, can I get on the show? And they said, yeah, it's kind of like the Bucks and all these guys. I was talking to them, and they're like we're kind of inspired by what you've done with Spring Break. We want to do our own type of deal, but on a grander scale. You know what I'm saying? And they were like, yeah, you could definitely get on this show. And they were throwing names. They wanted me to wrestle Bubba Ray Dudley. Thank God that didn't happen, because I would have been dead in the water right there. Who knows? It could have been a good thing if I wrestled Bubba Ray Dudley. It could have been a WWE right now or something. But shitting the bed against that fucking guy on pay-per-view. But they gave me Hangman Adam Page in a street fight, and we stole the show that night. And it led to me being one of the first guys signed to the contract there. And the second show I did was Double or Nothing. That was on the pre-show at was in a Rumble type situation. And then All Out was the third one, and that was the third big one. There was shows in between. I did the Moxley match and stuff. But yeah, it was cool, man. It was like, fuck. It's like I made it, kind of. It's like hearing all the rumblings, the Bucks hitting me up. They're like, "Oh, this is going to be something on." We're in talks with TNT. Like, they're keeping me in the loop. I'm like, TNT, really? Like, fucking shit. It's like the second cut of WCW and shit. Like, they're keeping me in the loop, and then everything starts happening. Like, you only take everything with a grain of salt. But there's no reason for me not to believe these guys from the get-go, because everything they said they were doing, so who was me to doubt that they were going to be on TNT or Turner Cable? And everything happened, for a second, man. It was cool, dude. And I thought I made it. I'm like, shit, and that's what, a lot of my, it was too much too soon for me a lot, I was thrown right into the shark infested waters.
Though, I mean, you're smart enough to know and look back on it now and go, okay, I learned from this, I learned from that. And obviously you've grown a ton from that.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, you met, well, first of all, you have people up there you worked with for years. Now you have connections all throughout the industry from the top all the way down. So, I mean, I think that's a beautiful thing. Right here, a fan had a question saying, is there any chance Joey would ever wrestle at No Holds Barred over at ICW?
This is the thing with that. Probably not. I think me and Danny were cool now. There's no heat between us anymore, or whatever that was. But that is a deathmatch promotion.
Yeah.
That is death matches from match one to the main event, and that's not what I'm about anymore. And I'm not really about doing death matches, and especially in a ring where it'd be interesting to do it, but I can't see me doing it. It's just like too much. I know I could go in there in a show full of death matches and do a non-death match like I used to at GCW. That's the beginning days of GCW. I wasn't a deathmatch guy. I was the non-death match guy at a deathmatch show. I was the guy to have the wrestling match, kind of. I say kind of because there was always doors, stairs, and ladders and stuff, but I was always that guy. But with the chain ropes and stuff, I don't know. I can't really see me doing that in 2025. Those are deathmatch shows. If it wasn't a deathmatch show, if it was a GCW type situation where it was a wrestling show with a couple death matches, you could say that that I might show up there, but a show like that with all death matches, I just can't see it.
And you were just talking about the roof bump, and I didn't want to go over it more than just one little question. If it was anyone besides Zandig, would you have said no to the spot?
I mean, I didn't even think that. I knew I was going off the roof from the beginning, but I didn't. In my mind, I thought it was the lower roof.
Yeah.
The thing is, I just couldn't say to him, we didn't even think it was him on Facebook, but it was until people told us, it is actually Zandig, and he's considered coming back now that Janela's poking the bear. And I was like, you're not going to come back and throw me off a roof? And he's like, I will. I'll kill you. And I'm like, all right, just throw me off this roof into whatever tables or something and this lower roof. But I didn't even know you can get on that top roof. So when I showed up probably 45 minutes before the show, before bell time that day. We were running late for whatever reason. But when I got there, they said, we're going to go off this into this. And I said, I'm going to fucking die.
Yeah.
But it was already set up. Like the gimmick was already set. The truck was already set there. It's like, fuck, man. It was not fun.
No.
But I had to drink a few beers and just go with the flow there, and it worked out in my favor. It could have gone the complete opposite direction. It could have been the end right there.
Especially with how small the truck was.
Yeah, and then catching the back of your head.
I mean, the truck. Everything he said about the truck, about the suspension causing like a bouncing effect to absorb the bump, was absolutely 100% true. Because to be honest, I didn't really even feel like it felt almost like flipping off like a scaffold into wrestling ring with a bigger bounce. So as far as that, like, it was pretty safe, but with the railings, whatever they call that, around the back of the truck, if you watch it back, the way I was tucked, if we were a little bit to the left, I would have smashed my head on one of those.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been all over the fucking ground. And that would have been it for me, but it worked out, It didn't work out for him. He broke his fucking back. But whatever.
He's protecting you though, right?
I mean, he had to, or else I would have ended up on the roof, the windshield.
Yeah.
The truck was a little bit too close, but as far as physics of the bump absorbing everything and the barbed wire net at the bottom, which I thought it was pointless, but I mean, that absorbed a little bit too, The net, like, there was a lot of barbed wire at the bottom of that truck, but yeah, it was crazy. It worked out.
And the thumb is good.
I mean,
no issues with the thumb. Anything with like cold weather? Nothing funky.
No, I'm sure. My whole body at this point feels like that. Nothing really new.
Yeah. So you got that knee surgery in 2018. How's the knee doing?
I mean, it's a knee. It's it's this one right here, I think. Yeah, it's a lump right there. But that sucked. That was like my first major injury. Like, the thumb was 2 months out. Like, it felt longer than it was, but the knee was like the first one. It's like, you blew out your knee. Now this is extensive rehab and coming back and stuff. And knee injuries is always the worst. The bicep, I tore my bicep in February. I was back in 3 months with surgery.
Wild.
Crazy. The knee, I was back in 5 months, and that's like a 8 to a year recovery. And I just kind of rolled the dice and listened to Crow.
And that's the thing, is that I'm hearing from Effie to you to others that Crowbar's been absolutely so helpful with everyone when it comes to injury and seeking advice from medical professionals.
He's the best for sure.
Yeah.
100% the best. Best guy, one of the guys that, he could be like just incredible right now, begging for money on the internet, like a lot of guys do. But once the wrestling thing fizzled out for him, he got his degree in physical therapy, and he uses it not only to, live a great life outside of the business, but help others in the business. And he's still wrestling every weekend, killing himself in the safest way possible, which he likes. He said, it's all safe. All my stuff is safe for me and my opponents, which he's right, but he is a smart dude. He deserves a lot of recognition when it's all said and done for a lot of stuff he's done. He deserves some kind of award, 100%. I don't know what award, but he deserves some kind of award. He's up there. He's right up there with DDP, but there's just not enough spotlight on him, for people talking about, like, DDP has, like, every time he has someone in his possession, in his center, and he rehabs back to health or whatever, there's always cameras around and there's always videos being put out, so what DDP is doing. You don't know what Crowbar is doing, because there's people that get injured and I go, Crowbar, this guy's injured. He broke his fucking ankle and he has a plate in there now. He needs extensive rehab. He doesn't have medical insurance. Can you help him? He said, yeah, just here's my number. So,
it's the ones who work silently.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, he's great. But the knee injury was the worst. And I don't want that to happen ever again.
But I mean, bicep, you're good to go now.
Yeah, that's fine. I have a little baby. The thing was, my bicep was fine. I could have went without surgery, but it would have been deformed. It is deformed still, but it would have. If I ever wanted to be a body guy, it would have fucked me.
Yeah.
But still, I was stupid, and when I tore it, I kept on wrestling with it torn, and I wrestled Paul Walterhauser in Defy in Seattle, and he did a Russian leg sweep to me wrong. I, for some reason, didn't put my arm in front of me. He just bumped on my arm and then pushed the bicep even further to my shoulder. So the doctor was like, usually you can't fuck up a torn bicep more, but somehow you managed to do it. Because Paul Walterhauser bumped on my arm in a move and pushed that shit up. But, I got it repaired, and it was pretty easy, I need to make it back for Mania weekend, and we did it. So,
yeah, incredible.
There was no complaints after that. It wasn't like my knee. When I came back from knee surgery, it was like there was a couple things that I like, shit, did I just blow out my knee again? Like, or after the match, like not be able to bend my leg, or I did come back too soon. But the bicep, it was just like back to business. There was no pain or anything from that.
So real fast, going back to Crowbar, someone says we should put him in the Indie Hall of Fame. So we could.
Yeah, absolutely. I said that years ago. Yeah, definitely Indie Hall of Fame. First ballot. He's one of the first indie guys too. He was the Super 8 explosion of the different projection of that hard left turn into indie wrestling took. Was due to like Super 8 and stuff, and he was in that, so for sure.
Well, talking about some late greats, could you possibly give us a Marcus Crane story?
Oh, Marcus Crane. I mean, he was a tremendous dude. He was one of my good friends. When I first started getting booked in Chicago, it was like he was like, "No, don't tell them not to book a room for you. You just come crash on my couch." And I only knew him a little bit from him coming in to do, like, we did one GCW show together at that time, and we just became cool, going, taking me to, sleeping at his house, and we go to Exit, which was a big goth club in Chicago, legendary. He was the man there, and he was just a good guy, and he was just like, everyone loved Marcus, and he was just a great, great dude. And it was crazy because when that whole situation happened, I think he was coming to a GCW show in Tennessee, Nashville, when that whole thing happened with him in Vegas. And he just, didn't know who he was, didn't know where he was, didn't know what was going on. They took him to the hospital and realized he had an infection in his brain that burned through his skull. And, they didn't think he was going to make it. And they did the brain surgery on him. And I happened to be in Vegas for something. I think we were going to UFC or something. So I hit up his family. I said, can I come visit him? And I was one of the first people to visit him after brain surgery. And he was like a child. He was childlike. He didn't know words. Like, he didn't know what was going on. He was a child. And his mom said to me, she said, this is how Marcus is going to be for the rest of his life. Like a very autistic, childlike situation. And, eventually we got him eventually he came back to normal somehow. It was a miracle. I kind of knew he was there at the point where when I went to visit him at the hospital, that I gave him a crossword puzzle. And there was like some hospital crossword puzzle, and he circled the correct word, and I said, he's there to his mom. And his mom's like, nah, it's just, he's going to be like this. But then he broke out of that situation and he became normal again with some kind of slight autism, I think. I don't know if that's the correct, but he came out of course, when they cut out a piece of your brain, you're going to have something. But he was basically, I would say, 85% Marcus grade. So it was cool having him back, and he was back out, going to exit and wherever in Chicago, and he was quite known in Chicago, as much as wrestling, as much in the bar scene over there. So take that as you will. They did call him the Snowman for a fucking reason.
Oh, there we go. I needed to laugh a little. That was serious, man.
It's crazy how he snapped out of it, but it's shame what happened. I don't know if it was due to that injury, but I think it was some kind of aneurysm or something, which was the situation. But it could have been. He had a quarter of his brain cut out of his head. Not a quarter, but it was like a good 15%.
It's terrible.
It was tough. He was like one of the guys, and if he was alive today, I don't know. Like, it would be interesting to see Marcus Crane in today's deathmatch wrestling climate. Would he still be in GCW? No, he wouldn't. Who knows? It would just be interesting to see him today. I think he would still be Team GCW for sure. Because
so much personality.
Yeah, he was just tremendous. A tremendous dude. The funny thing is, like, we went to only a few workers actually went to his services in where he grew up in Illinois, and we got there. We flew out there. Me, Lucky 13, and Schlack, and we got there. He was cremated already, so Schlack was fucking pissed because he wanted to take a picture with.
Yeah.
He wanted to take a picture.
Schlack being Schlack.
Dead Marcus, because Marcus, if Schlack was dead in a casket, he would take a picture with him as well. Some weird Gigi Allen fucking shit they have. But he got there, he was cremated already, and Schlack was like, "What the fuck is this? They already cremated him. Fuck." I'm all the way here, and he's already fucking ash. But that's the type of relationship those guys had. But I'll never forget those days. The rise of GCW was, as much as was those guys are responsible. Big part of it. Marcus and Schlacks and Macizos and those guys. Danny Havoc.
So that was going to lead right into the next question. Somebody asked, "Do you have a Danny Havoc story?"
Not really, actually, because as me and Danny Havoc weren't as close as some others. Me and some others. They would just be like, "Oh yeah, Danny Havoc was." He did try to when Devin Moore stole my wallet. He did try to talk some sense into Devin Moore, saying, "Listen, they got you on camera taking your wallet. You better get it back." Like, that was wrist tape. I was throwing wrist tape into my bag. Yeah, as far as Daddy Havoc, that's about Daddy Havoc stories. But we weren't as close as me and others or him and others. But he one of the best deathmatch wrestlers of all time. I know he's a really great guy. To have in the locker room. But never really went out with him after. And I don't think we went to Japan together. Maybe we did. Maybe we didn't. I don't know.
Someone in chat will probably tell us.
Yeah, I think he might have been on the Japan tour I wasn't on. But who knows?
So then how or where did you and Brett first meet? Was that CZW or earlier?
No, earlier. Hold on one second. I just want to check my battery. I have 12%, so I'll actually have to get the charger.
Do you want to take a break right now just to go grab it real quick? I don't want to sweat you.
We're good. We'll carry on for another 5 minutes or so. But okay. Me and Brett, we met maybe in that PWS era. Yeah. He was a referee there. And at one point, he got us booked on Beyond Wrestling. He got me and Steve Scott booked on Beyond Wrestling. We showed up tremendously late. We showed up like 2 hours late to this taping in Allentown because we missed the exit. And we woke up late anyway. But we were like, Drew Cordero was like, who are these fucking scumbags? Showing up late. But he got us booked on there. And that's where I wasn't with him at CCW at all. He was done with CCW by the time I got there. But yeah, just through there, and I was friends with him through that and PWS and stuff, and yeah, and then he came into, he was doing shit with ICW too in New York.
Well, then ever since that very first GCW show, really, NGI, you guys were kind of tethered at the hip. Were you tethered before the NGI show, or were you two working together and then it moved forward from there?
I think moved more forward with GCW, We were just cool at the time. There was never really a dynamic there until, things started picking up at GCW. I didn't want to strangle him then like I do now.
It's a different kind of love.
Yeah, he doesn't want to. It's vice versa. Strangle me as well. Sometimes. Sometimes he wishes he could just. I'm sure sometimes he wishes he could just part ways with me, and it'd be very easy, like he does with others in GCW, but he can't.
You're about to get an angry yo.
I'm kind of like I'm kind of molded into the GCW logo these days, so it's a lot more difficult. But it's been 10 years now.
Hard earned too.
We're not slashing Axl Rose, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
You disagree, I think I'm like the only guy that's been there since the beginning now,
Deppen, I think Tremont was
Tremont, Deppen, and me.
That's the only actives that I can think of off the top of my head. I mean,
yeah,
Gage is, that's it.
And Tremont it's been like there's times he's disappeared for a minute, right? In GCW. Mm-hmm. He did his own thing with H2O. This is like his first, his initial run at GCW was like kind of like the Howell era, where he had those battles with Gage and stuff. And then he never really, there was times that he's with GCW, but he never really traveled with GCW. He was just kind of like Jersey, Atlantic City shows and wherever. But now it's like he's on the road with us. It's the first time he's, like last year, I couldn't believe it. This year I couldn't believe it was his first time in Los Angeles with GCW. couldn't believe it.
Tremendous growth.
But he is the guy right now, I think, in GCW. He is the fucking guy. No one's killing it like Tremont. It's good. We needed that because, like, with Gage and stuff not being, on the shows anymore, we needed someone like Tremont, and he's been killing it, everywhere. He's top. When it's all said and done, he'll be the best deathmatch guy, hands down, of all time. And there's going to be no debate to that. He's going to be funny. He's going to be up there with his name is going to be up there with the Abdullah the Butchers of the world. As far like you'll see a band in 30 years, some kind of hardcore band or punk band or some shit with Matt Tremont on the t-shirt or some shit. That's going to be his. I think a lot of guys at GCW, that's going to be their kind of situation. That a lot of guys at GCW will never get that big paycheck, but when it's all said and done, they'll get that recognition and their flowers in some other fucked up way.
Every deathmatch wrestler we've interviewed on the show, I asked them, who would you send your kid to for deathmatch training? And they all say Matt Tremont without a doubt. No hesitation.
He's going to be the safest wrestler. Top. Like, it's a walk in the park with him. I never wrestled him in a deathmatch. I'm sure in that situation, you want to give him your body like he's giving you his body, I never did it in that situation, but we've done like cage matches and shit, and we defeated CCW, but he's going to be one of the safest guys. I think it's a walk in the park for anyone that wrestles him.
Do you want to grab that cord while you have a chance? Because now I think's a good time, and
let's go. Yeah,
maybe B could get a question or two from the fans ready for you.
You can go look at the fan for now. OnlyFans.
OJ Simpson's OnlyFans right here.
Welcome to the Janela zone.
Yeah. First 10 seconds are free, guys. After that, we're going to have to take some donations. $1.99 an hour. As you can see, we're going counterclockwise. Maybe.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I think it's counter. I don't know, guys. Is that clockwise? Oh, fuck it. This is what we're talking about.
That's
at 11 o'clock at night. We know how it is when you see like a car driving down the road, and if it's spinning at the right speed, it looks like it's backwards. Man.
So here we go. Here's for us to kill time. Which Chicago Bull do you think Joey is?
Oh, colorful. Got to be Rodman.
I'm back, but you need
definitely Rodman.
We're talking mad shit about you. We were thinking if you were going to be one of the top 3 on the Bulls, were you going to be Pippen? Were you going to be Rodman? Or were you going to be Jordan?
Fucking Rodman. That's basically my gimmick.
Yep.
That's Rodman. That's why I have this.
Ah.
It's a Rodman fucking mark.
Nice.
Yeah. That's why I got my nose pierced legit, is because Dennis Rodman.
Huh.
Hurricane Helmet. I said, I'm getting my nose pierced. And he's like, don't guys have their noses pierced. What are you, a girl? I was like, no, I'm getting my nose pierced. Girls are going to love it. And then 10 years, everyone's got their nose pierced now. So, thanks to me.
One last one, and then we go back to John's questions. James Nader asked, how would you describe coming up as a young guy when you did versus how the young guys are coming up now? What's the biggest differences, hurdles, etc.?
There's a tremendous difference, because when I came in, there was a lot of hazing. They're still in that era. A lot of hazing, a lot of abuse, getting beat up in locker rooms. Now the kids have it so easy, Fuck, man. So easy. But back then, that was the end of that Jersey All Pro, that homicide low key era, I was getting in for that. And everyone was cool to me. Like, of course I got in my situations because the way I got into business, but today they have it so good, Back then you couldn't even say like, oh, I used to be a backyard wrestler. They'd be like, get out of the business.
Yeah.
Now it's like, well, when a young guy gets into business now, it's like I looked out for a lot of because I looked out for a lot of the young guys when I was like in that CCW era, beginning of GCW. I still do, but now it's like I was looking out for guys like Leo and then like guys like Jordan Oliver and stuff. And now those guys are looking out for the younger guys. And I'm kind of just like Yoda in the locker room. Kind of just chilling. There's a lot of young guys. They're like some I go to, they're even like, I think they're intimidated by me now. I'm like, no, please don't be, I'm making this a little bit more money than you are.
You've done a lot of shit, man. You know what I mean? Some of these guys coming in, I mean, your career's almost able to go buy a beer on its own now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some of these guys, you're talking to 20, 25-year-old guys. I mean, you've been wrestling since they were 1, 2, 3, 4 years old. I mean, there's going to be instant respect there, or at least there better be.
The kid I'm wrestling Sunday, the Flying Ryan kid, he's going to be, I mean, he's humble as humble could be. That's why he's getting a lot of his opportunities now, I think Jordan and Alec and all those guys on that, workhorse wrestling, indie wrestling tier, Marcus Mathers, like the top indie wrestlers right now in the United States, I'd say, are in that, like Alec and Jordan and Marcus. They took a liking to this kid. And I did a scramble with him, and he was good. And, he's, 19 years old? I'm wrestling him Sunday at GCW. But that all was because he did us a huge fucking favor on the Jeff Cannonball show that Jimmy Lloyd, of course, we figured it out the day before that I asked if I could get Nick Gage there to do a run-in surprise for the show. And Brett said, yeah, hit him up. And we worked it out. And Jimmy Lloyd was supposed to pick him up in the morning. But on the way, I guess Jimmy Lloyd he's infatuated by online gambling now. And he was playing Fantasy on his phone. And a car stopped short in front of him, and he totaled his car. Like his 5th car he's totaled in his life. So now we had no one to pick up Gage. So this poor kid, Flying Ryan, we're like, how can we get Gage? And Brett, he wants to go to the Savannah Bananas game in Yankee Stadium. For some reason, he doesn't want to be there. Like, it's nothing against, of course, he helped me lay the groundwork for that fucking show. But of course he doesn't want people like, he has beef with fucking Namanto and all these fucking He doesn't want to be around these fucking people. So he laid the groundwork. He made the seating chart. He set up everything for me, and then he left. He went to Savannah Bananas game. But Jordan Oliver's, he needed someone to watch his kids, and I guess Jordan Oliver's girlfriend is their babysitter. So they just got to the show with Flying Ryan. So the thing was, we had to get Jordan Oliver's girlfriend to Brett's house to watch his kids so they could go to Savannah Bananas game, and we needed someone to pick up Nick Gage. So poor Flying Ryan just gets to the show, and Brett's like, come on. We all go to this dark hallway. He's like, all right, I need this, and we need someone to get Gage. So this kid just got there, so then he had to drive 2 hours back the other way to drop her off and then get Nick Gage for the show. And the deal was, if he does this, then Brett will give him a singles match in AC.
Oh, yeah.
Scramble.
Oh, yeah.
And all right, the singles match will be against me because he's doing me a tremendous favor.
Yeah.
So that's it. So that's like, how you get, people always ask me, how do you get your foot in the door at GCW? Like, there's heavy hitters that are in Brett's DMs every fucking week, sending him long, just like an obsessive, like, weirdo on like talking to a hot chick on Instagram. Hey, are you there? Hello. How do I get GCW? It's just simple as something like that. Like, this kid did this and is done everything and took down the ring and set up the ring and done everything. And now he's got a big singles match against me on Sunday if I make it there, because War Games, we know the situation there. But, there's always, this is why I like doing indie wrestling, is because, I've got to work with all these generations, you know,
Yeah.
and like just have like these tremendous matches with all these guys, you know. Now it's like now it's a new generation. Now I'm wrestling this fucking kid who's 19. He's a new one, you know, even younger than fucking Nick Wayne. So it's like it's just like that's why I like GCW, you know. And it's I guess people hold me to a high standard now, like I'm some kind of. But you know, you guys say I've been here for 20 years now. I guess you know, I deserve some type of clout.
That's
in my mind.
what's
But
up.
in my mind, I'm still the same Joey Janela I was when I got in. It's really, I do. I'm a whiny bitch sometimes. That's about it. I can be a whiny bitch. That's why Brett wants to strangle me sometimes, because I could be a diva, but I deserve to be. You know,
The good comes with the bad. It is what it is, right?
deserve to
So
be a
I-
little diva.
Sorry. I had a question, kind of like you were talking about earlier. You got to face all the legends and people that you looked
Man.
up in the business growing up, and now you're having matches with Ryan O'Neal and James Nader. Ask about Justin Finn. How's it feel now, kind of being on the other end of that, as you were kind of saying, being on the spectrum of both of them?
But it's always been like that for the last 10 years at least. Over 10 years is me wrestling young guys and me wrestling old guys. That's been the thing, you know. Having good matches with young people coming up, like Leo Rush. That was like his first big. Like when I wrestled first Leo Rush, he didn't even have wrestling gear, you know. And they were like, "Oh, these guys have chemistry. Let's bring it to CCW main show." And then we kind of made each other off that, you know. But it's always been either young guys or really old guys on the way out, you know, or they want to have another run. They call Joey Janela. If you're a young guy and you're 16 years old and you want to get your name out there fast, wrestle Joey Janela. That's been the thing for the last 10 years. Like Nick Wayne, me and him, I wrestled when he was 16 at Defy, and we just had a tremendous 30-minute match. And that was before Iron Man match 2 years before, but this was match of the year too over there. But man, after that, it was just like everyone was talking about Nick Wayne, but it's like. I know this is why I like, you know, I always have a fail-proof plan on how to make everything work with young guys or old guys like Justin Finn. You know, I wish to see him more, you know, getting more bookings as he should, which is the reason I did that match with him, because he's humble enough and he's dedicated enough to professional wrestling that if you're humble enough and dedicated enough that you'll get somewhere. You know, as long as you wrestle, you know, and that's someone that's still a tremendous upside, you know, but he wants to do death matches. I told him he can't right now. I'm sure if he did death matches, if he went that route, if he listened to Danny DeMonto say, all right, you're going to wrestle me in a fucking death match, I'm going to also bomb you through the floor to pane of glass and a log cabin of light tubes, he'd be booked. You'd see him booked a lot more. I told him, I said, listen, you're not doing anything to do with glass or any deathmatch shit until I tell you can do shit with deathmatch shit. But yeah, it's just, I hope to see him start branching out more and getting booked more, because he definitely can. That's the only way he's going to get better. He's not going to have someone like me, or he wrestled Drew Parker recently, someone like that to guide him through a match like that. You know, I know how to do it, you know. Someone like Justin Finn is the same way I'm wrestling someone like if I was wrestling Tito Santana tomorrow. Just less athletic than a Justin Finn, but I always have a game plan. I have like I like to step outside the box, but I always have my type of structure basically for this, which is kind of actually, when you think about it, I hate to give him credit like this, but it was kind of like the Danny DeMonto structure of the way he wrestled guys in NWS and older guys and young guys. So
I wanted to go back to Leo Rush. You made a statement about him. I know he had that match with you that kind of reinvigorated his love and kind of brought him back into the wrestling business. Can you kind of talk about, you had like a series of matches with him, I believe, in GCW, or if not around the time.
CCW was the big ones. Like we went out, we had a show the month before Cage of Death. I think it was Night of Infamy, where we had a pretty good match. But then we went to Cage of Death. We were the opener, and we had like 10 minutes on the board, which means they said get this match done in 10 minutes, and we went like 25 minutes, and we kind of just killed the show. And then I kind of went in the back. It was like, top that, motherfuckers. But then we had like a series all the way to when he got signed to WWE. So it was to be his final match against me and CCW. And that's where we did that powerbomb spot through the table where he no-sold the powerbomb off the ladder, which was never really a called spot. It was originally supposed to be just a package pile driver through the table, and he was supposed to pop up out of that, but the table was broken. So I said, go up the ladder. I'm going to powerbomb you off. Just do the same thing. So that was kind of just on the fly situation, but we had that series in CCW, and then he left WWE. I guess he came back during COVID to GCW at the homecoming show.
Yeah,
is that
that's
what
kind of
happened?
that was the match I was kind of talking about.
Yeah, that was. I think he was just like, I want to come back or something, and Brett said, all right. I think that all came together within a couple days. He was the shadow man for Yoshihiko.
Yep,
ripped off. Yeah, it was cool, man. And that was probably like in the COVID era, my most famous COVID era match. I did the elbow drop off that pillar, which was scary as fuck, and almost died. we had a good. I think it was a pretty good match, and because at the time wrestling was so unfulfilling for me in AEW. Like wrestling in front of Jacksonville, in front of no crowds at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I think I was wrestling. I was already teaming with Sonny Kiss at the time, which wasn't a bad deal. It was good. I like Sonny, but it was like we were doing these like meaningless squash matches at 3 a.m. and like it was either hot as fuck in Jacksonville or cold as fuck in Jacksonville. You know, there was no middle ground there at 3 a.m. And we were doing these matches, and wrestling just fucking sucked. Like I want to quit. So the only thing I had was GCW at that time, doing those GCW COVID shows. So getting to wrestle Leo and shit and having more eyes on me doing stuff like that than what I was doing at AEW was cool, which made me realize like maybe I don't need the machine, you know, that I could do this. And I still, people say, you know, PWI doesn't really matter anymore, PWI 500, you know. This is my highest ranking on that, and I've been far removed from TV wrestling in 4 years. So
let me put this up here because someone paid to make sure this is seen. Drake versus the Bad Boy in GCW No Rules match. Can we get that, Rand?
Singer?
Oh, no. No, Mr.
Does he mean Drake the singer or Drake Younger? I think Drake the singer. He would have said Drake Younger, so I would wrestle Drake.
You know what? Yeah, you two had that match together over there at JCW, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Drake Younger. Yeah. Yeah. He was always like a guy. He was like one of my favorite deathmatch wrestlers. Like him, Danny Havoc, and like Scotty Vortex. Those guys were tearing it up when I was going to CW every month. Brain Damage. So Drake was like top. Like when I was in high school, he was like one of the top deathmatch dogs that I wanted. You know, that he was like one of the best. So.
Well, people are asking GCW, do you think that may happen, or is that something probably won't happen right now?
I don't think it will probably happen
right now. Yeah.
To be honest, I gave him. I mean, he came up to me. You know, people thought I was like, what did people say about that? That I was trying to platform him or
something. To
rehab him for something. I wasn't trying to rehab him. I mean, he came up to me. Effie did the JCW tour before me and said, well, Drake is cool. He's this guy. He's on tour. I'm like, Drake Younger? I'm like, fuck, man. But I know he's good. He's good. He's like, go talk to him. So I talked to him, and he told me the deal. And I don't know, you know, I said, this is not me for me to rehab you. This is for you to go and do it yourself, you know. But I got booked with him at JCW. That wasn't my call. That was Violent J call. And, you know, I was like, might as well make the most out of this, you know. it's a shame that it wasn't on a GCW show.
Exactly.
But it's a
I'll agree
shame.
with you.
It's a shame, but that's kind of on him. He could have been top GCW dog, but he made a lot of. I mean, even over that, he shouldn't even be on the Indies wrestling. He should be refereeing at WrestleMania every year. So that's on him, man. I mean, never say never when it comes to professional wrestling. I know he took a step in the right direction that night with me. And, I don't know what people wanted him to say. Like, some people were like, it wasn't good enough, the apology. What the fuck do you want him to say?
Yeah.
What do you want him to say? You want him to list everything he said or he's done and done that? He made a good he made a good first step in that in a better direction. But that wasn't that whole QAnon shit. Some of those conspiracies, like that was a weird time during COVID. It was getting people like left and right. It was getting people worse than fucking COVID. One of my ex-girlfriends, her whole family was fucking QAnon fucking maniacs. You know what I'm saying?
The internet.
I said, I don't believe any of this fucking bullshit. People are fucking whacked.
Yeah.
And I think she was believing it too. I'm like, this is fucked up. I said, I need to get out of this situation.
Well, the internet just, I think, got everybody, especially during the times when they were locked in, because what else are you going to do with your time but dick around online? And I think that captured a lot of people's attention.
Yeah, it was weird and for you to believe some of that stuff that was coming out at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think Drake was one step below of believing that Hillary, the Clintons were reptilian people, I think. And I just for me, I just can't. I just can't.
Not your style. It's just not your
never. I just saw that was like so ridiculous. Like, I always was like one person, like, if you support Trump, that's one thing. I have friends that support Trump that I could go out and hang out with you still. But once you cross that line into that conspiracy theories and Alex Jones InfoWars type fucking situation, then I can't fuck with you anymore. That's why I was calling these fucking people.
Let's do this because Kite again paid to just say, will you go after Effie's title in a first blood match? That's a very specific question.
That is a weird question. He paid for that?
Absolutely. Oh, yes.
Send money to my cash app.
I was just about to say, hopefully you forgot about the royalties.
There went taco money, B. We're done.
First blood match at GCW. It's like, that would be like the worst match to have at GCW.
Usually there's blood on the handshake.
Yeah, there's blood. The first blood. It'd be interesting. But the fans like the wrestlers to roll around in their opponent's blood.
I got a fun one here for you. The most interesting reason police have been called to a wrestling show that you've attended.
Oh, this is the easy one. There's a couple of them. I could name two. One was Wyoming when GCW was there. When Gage wrestled Mance, they fought to the concessions that the people there thought it was real. So they called the cops on, and Gage as soon as the cops come, Gage got the fuck out of there. So they pulled Mance into a room. They interrogated him. Like, this was like, they're like, no, it's a work. It's fake. We're fake fighters. And the cops didn't believe him. And they thought there was something going down. I think that's the reason we haven't been back to Wyoming. But that whole night, the cops harassed us downtown Laramie, Wyoming. We'd be in a bar, and cops would slowly drive by and shine their fucking spotlights into the bar because they knew we were all in there.
Old school Carney treatment right there.
Yeah, so that one. And then the other one was when Big Cass attacked me at a indie show because he was fucked up or something. But the cops came and got him because I guess he said he was gonna shoot us or he had a gun or some shit. I don't know what he was saying, but all I know is me and that guy are cool now. He's a super nice guy. And he had a rough patch. I had a rough patch, and we're all good. But I don't want to revisit that at all because that guy's tremendous. Like, he's tremendously done good for himself since that moment, and proud of him.
Now, do you prefer at this stage an opponent who's your size, bigger or smaller?
I mean, they just keep on getting smaller because I was a small guy. This guy's smaller than me that I can do crazy lucha shit with. But smaller guys are cool because it makes me feel like a big man. But you know, I do like wrestling bigger opponents like Megan Bain. I'm just kidding. No, but no, just
his noose. It's he can hang himself if he wants to. There.
no, smaller, and I think it doesn't matter. I think it's the difference. I like wrestling large. You know, what do they call that?
Yeah.
Large selection of opponents.
Mm-hmm.
So you work every match different. You know, and I think that's why I've lasted so long. You know, and I'm still relevant. You know, in wrestling because I have the weirdest list of opponents probably in history. Most lucrative too, probably when it's all said and done, by the guys that made it somewhere, or the guys that came back and wrestled me that no one else got. Like, fuck, who else is gonna have Lashley LaRue on their fucking career
Amazing.
list?
Amazing call, dude. We talked to Brett about that specific match when he was last on here and told him that was just an amazing out of nowhere call that ended up being like,
it was a good match. I don't know why people don't talk about that one more.
Yeah.
I don't know, because it was a good match. And Lashley LaRue was in good fucking shape. And I guess after that, he was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Because
no shit.
These guys go too hard. These guys go too fucking hard. And I do go hard. Like if I'm wrestling you and if you want to take it home early, like take it home. Like be like, no, we have more wrestling to do. Like I remember Waltman, X-Pac, tremendous. He's in tremendous shape for his age. But we were having that match at spring break, and he was like, take it home. And I'm like, no. He's like, I'm fucking dead. I said, we got a couple more spots. You're good.
Now, in your second half of your career, we'll look at it this way. Who have you learned the most from working with?
Fuck. In my second half?
Yeah, like maybe this is where Sabu comes in, or is there something else where
I don't learned much from Sabu, I don't think.
You learned how to improvise,
Learn how to improvise, especially on that fucking
night. Yes.
What a tremendous. We should just get into that. But that was
let's roll.
But
let's
yeah,
roll,
but but opponents like I learned stuff from every opponent, I think so. Every match I have, I learn a little something still. I'm still a student of the game, but at this point, they're learning from me, the veteran brother. No, but like AEW taught me a lot, I think coming out of AEW, I became if you watch my stuff before AEW and you watch my stuff after AEW, there's tremendous difference. I'm still doing indie-rific matches with no selling, and sometimes if you work my arm for fucking 50% of the match, I forget about it. But there's certainly a tremendous difference in my work rate from before AEW and after. So I think being at AEW has taught me the most probably in the last 5 years.
Let's see. B, do you want to grab one or two from the fans there before I get into anything?
Yeah. William Bruno earlier today had, what did main event in AEW's second pay-per-view with John Moxley mean to you? Because that meant a lot to him to see a guy who grew up in the same area as him do that.
I mean, it was awesome, dude. It felt like being a simulation. There's only 2 times that I felt like I was in like a simulation. Was that like I was in like some kind of like the crowd looks almost CGI to me. Like I was in like some kind of CGI movie. Like how they like in the Rocky movies these days, like they CGI in the crowds and stuff. That's what it felt like. And that was one of the moments like, holy shit, this is crazy. And this is the same building that the NWO formed, which was even more crazy to me. I'm wrestling in the main event of this pay-per-view against John Moxley in his first match in WWE, and I was a huge fan of John Moxley. So when they said you're gonna be John Moxley's first opponent. I was like, holy shit, I've made it. These guys trust me.
Yeah.
To get this match. Tony and the Bucks and Cody and all those guys trusted me. At that time, they trusted me to do my job and get that match. But it was awesome, dude. And we just went out there. We killed it. And I was very stupid the night before. And, of course, I let alcohol take over and ended up getting very drunk. I was going to say, all right, I'm just going to chill in my hotel room and have a couple of White Claws and go to sleep. Big match tomorrow, pay-per-view main event, John Moxley. You're going to chill out. Somehow those 2 White Claws took me to Coyote Ugly, which took me to another bar, which took me to some girl's hotel room, which then took me to going to sleep at 7 a.m., waking up at 9 a.m. So it was business as usual, like independent Joe guy showing up, but now there's an agent involved and you have to go over your match. And, it went perfect. It could have gone much more perfect, that match.
So I was going to
leave that talk about it.
Yeah, and I was going to say you had a second match that you've kind of felt like the crowd was CGI. Would that be the Kenny Omega match? Because that's one
that
match
was that was like at that time. I was like the Sabu match was fucking weird to me. It just felt weird.
It was tense, even in the crowd. It just felt tense.
It felt cool, man, and with the crowd, the way the crowd was filled in like that.
Yeah.
Like, it just didn't seem real to me. Like, those are 2 matches that didn't seem real to me. Like, the Mox match and the Sabu, I felt the same way. Like, it was like the blow up of some movie, like, weird Matrix type situation. But, yeah, no, those were definitely those weird. Like, the Moxley match was good, and everyone was pumped up about it. And I went in the locker room, and my whole fanny pack was stolen with all my money and my passport and stuff. And I don't know if it was someone that was jealous of me for having that spot. They took it and they threw it in the trash, which has always been my assumption. But that kind of was a bummer they wouldn't even let me in the bar after. Moxley had to sneak me in the back door. The bar.
No shit.
Yeah, because I didn't have my ID on me and stuff. But I didn't really even care. I was like, whatever, man. I think Matt Jackson gave me $200 cash. He said, take this. But I always believed that someone was jealous that I was in that spot and I was undeserving of it. So they took my fanny pack and they tossed it in the garbage or somewhere, hid it somewhere, so I never found it.
Tony has good backstage footage. You should ask for it.
Maybe I should call the Daytona. I'd be like, do you guys have a fanny pack in this lost and found? Maybe they found it after all these years.
Right.
But yeah, which is cool. It was just a cool night. Like, it felt like, and then the pictures came after. There's that picture of me dropping. That's like one of the most famous pictures of my career. Me dropping the elbow off the ladder into the crowd in the background. It was like, shit, I've made it. Now I just had to take the ball and run with it. But, things are a little bit different when television gets involved. And there's master politicians in the locker room. Say that much. It wasn't that was a sharp stab to the gut.
I wanted to go to Reed's question here. He was asking, what was putting together something like Cannonball Fest like? Did all the spring breaks help? And can the next spring break top Cannonball Fest?
Cannonball Fest was awesome. And it was a different type of show I was booking than spring break. But I'd say it was when I got together when I came up with the idea, I got with Depp and I said, let's put on this show. But as soon as the location and the date got approved, I just took the ball and ran with it and hit up everyone I know. Everyone that knew Jeff or was friends with Jeff, done shows with Jeff, and tried to get them on, in some capacity or donate something. So at the end of the day, I felt kind of bad for Tony Deppen because the only match he booked was the Battle Royal and everything else was like me just my Adderall brain firing off all cylinders. But yeah, no, it was cool, man. But that was like the first show I really I had a lot of the key people in place. I had like Chad and the ring crew, and I had Brett figure out the seating, and I had the school figure out the food. But like, it's like running a show is fucking difficult. Like spring break, I don't have to run those shows. Like this, I kind of had to like figure out almost everything on my own, and that was like difficult. But spring break, I think this is spring break 10. It's like we're coming off spring break 9, which is one of the best spring breaks of all time. So I think spring break 10 for the anniversary has to be huge. It has to have huge. It has to be the biggest one yet, I think. But yeah, I think Cannonball Fest. Will it happen again? Maybe. You know, I've seen people wanting it to be an annual thing, but I mean, it's hard because this is a show where you have to find a date where a lot of guys are not doing something and they have to wrestle for free, you know. But luckily, Jeff is a beloved person that people have no problem wrestling for free for. Or, you know, there's a lot of heavy hitters. Like MJF would have been there 100% if he didn't have to do a movie, you know. And I thought he was bullshit at first. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker. Because me and MJF, like, we kind of like fell out over the years, but over the last like year, we've talked a little bit more. And when I hit him up, he was the first person to say yes. So then he hit me up. He's like, oh, shit, I can't do the show. I got to do this movie. I'm like, ah, bullshit. Man, you got to go your honeymoon or something. But no, he's doing a movie. And then he hit me up and he sent me gear to donate for his auction. But tremendous, like a lot of tremendous, like top talent for that show. Wrestling for the love of the game. And Tommy Dreamer, that was one I hit up. That was one I hit up just for the fuck of it. And I was like, can you do this? Like, where do you live now? And he was like, I'll try. And then I hit him up again. He's like, I'll try to do it. And then he hit me up like a week before. He was like, I have a signing in Hartford. I was like, whatever. And I was like, he's like, but I'll try. And I was like, there's no way Tommy Dreamer's going to show up. Come from Hartford. But when I got to that show, someone told me that they talked to Dreamer the day before, and he said he was coming out. He cut his signing short at Hartford, came to the show, and did his running. You know, so
dude,
that's the type of clout that Jeff Cannonball and person he is. Because the Dreamers worked with him before, you know, and we all came together, you know, and that was some classic indie wrestling. That was like some very Jersey All Pro like atmosphere. You know, lit gymnasium. That's what I always wanted to be. I wanted to be an indie show in a lit gymnasium, like old school indie wrestling with, you know, maybe the show goes a little long. Maybe some of the matches aren't the best. But the matches were all tremendous.
Oh, yeah. Dude, the vibe was great there.
The match
absolutely tremendous.
Yeah, everything delivered, to be honest, to what I wanted to deliver, you know.
Well, from the GCW fan side, I will say it was cool to see Schlack. It was cool to see Danny. It was cool to see Jimmy. It was cool to see KTB. It was nice to see some of them show up on what normally wouldn't be a GCW style production. That was big with the fans. So I just want to tell you, good call.
I mean, I had to do it. It's like there was no one off limits for that show.
Yeah.
You know, if you hit me up, if you contacted me and you were friends with Jeff, I would get you on that show in some type of capacity. You know, Ricky Shane Page, if he hit me up, I would have put him on the show 100%. And I think that guy's one of the biggest clowns in professional wrestling. And I would have put him on the show. So there was nobody, Danny, Schlack, Kyle. There was no one off limits. It wasn't a GCW show. It was a Joey Janela show. And if you were friends with Jeff, you know, you would have been on the show, you know.
Well, which are there any wrestlers that you would like to bring into GCW that you haven't seen yet? Is there anybody on your radar? Is that something you'd like to keep quiet? You know what I mean?
I mean, there's some, you know, but it's hard. It's like I can't believe the Yankees won, by the way. I don't know if you guys are baseball fans. They were killed by the Blue Jays when I got on this podcast, but they won somehow. But
Judge with
the little alert just went on my thing. I don't even watch baseball this whole season. But I was watching the first half of that game. But I I don't know, man. Indie wrestling is so weird these days. Like, I think the kid I wrestle on Sunday is going to be a pretty big. That's going to be very. If he holds up his end of that part, you know, that it's going to be very good for him. But I think a lot of the girls are tremendously talented these days. Like the Lena Cross, I brought her in the spring break. She's
tremendous.
She's awesome, and Brett should be booking her every show.
Agreed.
The girl like Johnny Robbie in California, who's keeps on going back and forth to Japan and just getting better and better. I watch some of her stuff, and I think I didn't believe the Kid Bandit hype until the other day. I wrestled Kid Bandit in Alaska, and I think like that's someone that could be a tremendous baby face for GCW. Just a lot of the girls, I think, are just better these days. To be honest, I'm trying to think. There's a few, you know, that people send me clips of people all the time, and I'm like, well, we need to get this person in the fold, and it's just the Brett Lauderdale show. So he likes who he likes. It's his company, you know. So sometimes he takes like we got to get this person in, get that person in. But yeah, Lena Cross is someone I'd like to see on main GCW shows more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think because I was thinking about this question the other day in my head, like who now.
In the same female realm, Bozilla did a damn good job, I believe.
Great. But Bozilla will be on TV. Let's just say that.
Yep.
He was already on pay-per-view for AEW. Did that 4-way Forbidden Door match, and I heard she did great. But I think just let her. There's too many people on TV right now. Too many people signed. Just let her do her thing in Japan, and when the time is right, it'll be. But she's tremendous. She was so super nice and super grateful because like Megan was like her dream opponent, and like a lot of the stuff she did in Japan was modeled after Megan, what Megan did in Stardom. So,
I didn't know that.
So that was like a big dream match. Like she wanted to make that happen. Like she was putting out, like there was a video on Instagram. Like Megan was kind of pissed, to be honest, that it was a video to like a Metallica song of Megan hitting these power bombs and shit from Stardom, and the Bozilla did the exact same video. Like, is this girl trying to mock me, or is this girl trying to call me out or something? I'm like, calm down. I think she just idolizes you or something, or she wants this match. I think she's just trying to troll you. I said, well, I'm going to book the match. So that was like the first match I had planned for spring break since the get-go, and we made it happen. So it was good. It was a good one. It was probably the best wrestling match on the show, in my honest opinion.
Are you already working on spring break, or is that coming in the next couple months?
I mean, I'm working on my stuff. That's about it.
Okay, yeah.
Which I usually don't even have a game plan like for my own stuff this soon, but I have a little something in the arsenal that I want to do.
Hell yes. All right, that's good news.
Yeah, spring break, but it's like spring break 9 was so tremendous. Like it was one of the best. Like the building was just awesome, and the crowd was just awesome, and the moments in the Sabu match was just, you know, the buzz behind that. Even, you know, before he untimely passed away, it was just crazy for that whole month. Like people, I never, like, in my opinion, like AEW really killed indie wrestling, and I hate to say it because, and it's not a negative thing. It's that when I was on top of the indies, well, I still am on top, so I can be a little bit cocky here. But in 2018, when I was coming up before AEW, that no matter what show I was on, whether it be Beyond or GCW or whatever was streaming live, that there would be Reddit threads and Twitter threads, and it would take me a half an hour to get through them just for my fucking match, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And somewhere when AEW came along, their need to find an alternative to the WWE kind of ended there, which are like, shit, we don't have to watch these fucking indie shows anymore. We can watch indie wrestling on Wednesdays free on TV, and it's the best of the best. This is PWG fucking live on TV every fucking week. So their need for indie wrestling, kind of the buzz of indie wrestling, like this, the houses are always been good since then. The house has been tremendous. It's more of like a live thing. It's like when the circus comes to town now, you know, opposed to it's when fucking this comes to town. It's like, you know, you got to be there live. You got to see it live. But, you know, who's talking about the circus on the fucking internet? But, yeah, it was just like, I lost my train of thought. But, yeah, it's like the buzz of indie wrestling is kind of bing. But for spring break this year, I felt like shit, we're climbing back up there, you know? There's always been a few GCW shows every year that get a tremendous, crazy amount of buzz on the internet. Always TOS and spring break and a failing Hammerstein show or whatever.
An NGI.
Anyways, yeah, no, not failing. Not failing for Brett's pockets. But, yeah, but spring break this year was great. And I just like people were watching it, you know, like it was trending high. You know, and then the me and Sabu match happened. It was such a spectacle. People couldn't stop talking about it that weekend. And that's what it was like always spring break, like at the beginning days. It was like this was WrestleMania's weekend. But what people were talking about was spring break. And like really like peaked those years. And then the COVID happened, it kind of ruined things, and my hand got taken off the pencil a little bit more and more and more every year, but recently the last couple of years have been more my style. And I think spring break last year was really good and people were buzzing about it, especially the Sabu match. That was the talk of the fucking weekend. It was Sabu. It was the talk of the weekend, whether it be controversy and whether you fucking despise the match, you thought it was the worst thing you ever seen, or you thought it was the greatest match ever. If you go on the cage match, like I've never seen a match that had more ratings all up and down that little. There's like 15 ones and there's like 30, 10. I don't know. I have to go and look at it, but it is crazy. There's people ranking that match at every level of that cage match meter. But either you love that match or you hate it. It's one of the greatest. It's one of the greatest indie. It will go down as one of the greatest indie matches of all time, and a match people will be watching 30 years from now, and they'll always have their speculation on what actually happened. If it was a contributing factor to Sabu's death, what was it? You know, it wasn't. It wasn't. At the end of the day, it wasn't. Had nothing.
If you talk to the guy, you'd know. Yeah,
it had nothing to do with Sabu passing away. It was just unfortunate timing, you know, of how he went out and that match, and in a timely interview I did 2 days after the match that got put out.
Yeah,
a day after his death, which I don't blame the guy Phil who wrote that article. I blame Yahoo. I don't blame Ariel Hawani, who that's his thing. His name is just attached to that thing. I don't blame him either. I blame whoever that person is that's in charge of Yahoo that saw what I wrote and that said in that interview and said, let's put this out the day after this guy died because this will get some clicks.
Yeah.
But I think Spring Break 9 was like, it's like, shit, we're back. This is we're back on top. You know, Spring Break is the most talked about thing, which I try to get back to that mold and stuff I had, you know. And this year I'm going to do more videos and hire more people to do more shit like I used to do, you know. Get Brett paid for it. I don't pay for any of that shit. I don't get paid enough for that show still. But, yeah, I think, 9 was just a great show. It's like, it's WrestleMania weekend, but everyone's talking about Spring Break, no matter where I go or everyone. It's like, just, that was it. It felt like Spring Break of the early years. So this year, I feel like You know, whether you have negative, you think negatively about the spring break of the previous year. You think positively. You think it's the greatest show you ever seen in your life. I think the buzz is there for the 10th year anniversary to make this as big as possible, and we'll see what happens.
It's going to be a spectacle. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, we're gonna have a kratom bar in the back for all the wrestlers.
So
all you could drink kava kratom.
I went over the story on the podcast, but 9 or 10 days before he passed, I was with him. We went to the Nerd. Brett had me go over and get all those cards signed that have you and him and whatnot.
Oh,
and
you were the one that did that.
Yeah. So I went over there and laid everything out, went through everything, got all the cards. Then we went through all the posters and everything. And he's like, hey, go get me a drink. I go get him a drink because that's what good boys do,
Yeah.
and, but everything was for free. He got all his drinks for free there.
Of course, the Nerd, he always got his drinks for free.
Yeah. So
they would go there every night. He wouldn't drink a lot, though. He'd drink a couple Bud Lights or Coors Lights or whatever. But Johnny never charged me for a drink, and he never charged Sabu for a drink either.
Never. If he just was like, this guy's with GCW, and that was it. He's like, get him whatever he wants, and that was it. And did you see the little, I don't know what to call it, like a VIP where it's just 2 chairs facing each other with a little rope?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I sit down in there with him and we're starting to drink. I look to my left and there's the fucking plaque, the GCW. Yeah. I'm like, you motherfucker. He's laughing. He's like, yeah. He goes, that thing wasn't in my hands more than 48 hours. I'm like, jeez.
Yeah. Straight up. Oh, so that was after the match.
Oh yeah. This was a little over a week before he passed away was when all those signatures got on all that stuff. Yeah, we went and
you went over there. Oh, so that was.
Yeah, so I went to his house. I grabbed him and I think it was his fiance at the time, and yes. Went over to the Nerd and we just hung out for about 4 or 5 hours, just bullshit. Did a couple things, then I brought him back home. It was a Sabu night, my friend.
He was fine. I mean, he was fine after that match. There's a documentary out. You got to go watch it. It's not getting enough buzz right now because it's not on mainstream streaming yet, and it will be whatever deal they sign, Netflix or Prime or whatever. It's going to be on major streaming services. It's on this. You can buy for $6 right now on this independent movie site for now, but it is tremendous documentary. But if you watch that, you realize that it is what it is. But Sabu wasn't going to do anything Sabu didn't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Sabu was Sabu before that match. Sabu was Sabu after that match, and that was it. And it's just unfortunate how that interview came out. And Brett was pissed about it on me. I'm like, listen, I did this interview. He's like, why would you say these things? I'm like, I'm talking like it's like a, you're talking like it's like I always grew up listening, watching these shooting reviews and listening to these stories. Like, is this story true or is it not true?
Yeah.
Right? What is this guy saying? Like, it's like when Sabu fell to the floor, he heard the Sandman's music and he was transported back to 96 and it woke him up out of his concussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like shit like that. Like, Sabu wasn't going to show, but he came and he did this thing and people just took that wrong. Like, I was like, and there's still people every day who either tweet me or say I was contributing to this guy's death, which is at this point I think it's kind of charming because it's Sabu. It's like if this was me, if Sabu wrestled me and then I died a month later, Sabu would be telling her, "Yeah, I killed that motherfucker."
Oh, he would. That's Sabu, dude. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, I helped him. I put one foot down in the grave."
Yeah, I killed him. Yeah, he's dead. But anyways, it's just it is what it is, with that whole deal. But Sabu was Sabu. You got to watch the documentary. It's great. It really is.
I'm actually putting the link in the chat down here for everybody. That link is
go watch it.
It's
great.
Yep.
It covers everything a year before the match. Shows him fucking injecting steroids. It shows him doing all the kratom your little heart desires before I even touched him in the ring. So you can get all that out there, but it's kind of weird. There's been people that try to fight me at shows recently. We had to kick some guy to Dallas. Dude, I was talking to some little kid, and some guy comes up to me. He goes, I just want to say, Joey Janela, you're a piece of shit fucking loser. You killed my idol. He started crying. You killed my idol, Sabu, you fucking loser. You're lucky I don't kill you. I'll stab you. I'll kill you. And in front of this little kid. And I said to security, get this guy out of here. And they threw him out the fucking door. And then somehow he weaseled his way back in, and the security seen him. They threw him out. And then he was challenging me for a fight that whole weekend. Like the next day even, like, you killed my idol, whatever. And then there's people sending me death threats like, you show up to this show, I'm bringing my gun. I'm going to avenge Sabu. And there's still people every time they come out for an entrance somewhere. Mainly not GCW because those fans are respectful and smart and realize. But if I do a show in like Canada, there's always someone in the crowd that goes, you killed Sabu. And I go, yeah, I did. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Like I just did me and George South been doing this feud around WrestleCade weekend for like 2 years now straight. And I was like, we're down south, I always get a little shoot here in my promos. I'd be like, George South, this final match will be the end of your career. Remember what happened to Sabu. Remember what happened to Sabu. Like, whatever, play with it now. You know what I'm saying? His family has been great to me. Van Dam, it's been great to me, and they know the situation. They know we gave him the greatest send-off you can possibly give Sabu.
Yeah. Which
will go down as one of the greatest Sabu matches of all time. Like, Sabu hasn't wrestled a match like that in 20 years since WWE, since he had his run there. So no matter how you look at it, that was a great send-off and just felt weird and felt unreal. Just a weird night. And, he went missing out there because he lost his whole because West Side Guns fucking crew, as soon as the show was over, kicked us all out of the locker room, kicked me out of my own locker room. Some fucking fat fuck came up to me and he said, you got to get out of here. And I was just like, what the fuck? I just wrestled. This is, so they kicked everyone out, and Sabu's, they kicked everyone out. And I know Brett I said something. I had to talk to Smoke Dizza afterwards and West Side Gun. I said on Monday, that was disrespectful. The reason you guys are fucking here, the reason that this thing is so big is because my show, Spring Break, 9 years ago, we fucking changed the game. You know what I'm saying? And the reason you guys are opportune to have this slot on this collective is mostly because of me and GCW. So you can't kick me out of my own fucking locker room. But they kicked Sabu out of his own thing, and he left his fanny pack in there. He couldn't find his fanny pack for 3 days, so no one could contact him for 3 days. Well, they seen him at a signing or something, but he doesn't have his cell phone on him. He doesn't have his passport. Eventually, Jimmy found his fanny pack 3 days later, and Sabu gave him $100, I think.
Yeah.
But it was just a weird weekend. Just,
Did he ever tell you how he ended up in that suit? Did you guys ever talk about his gear?
I know. It's apparently his girlfriend at the time, she took it and sold his gear or some shit. Which that's one of the stories, or
one was the dog chewed the pants.
The dog chewed the pants.
No, and then something happened with the sash made it, and something happened with his shoes. They were wrong. And
he had to wear a pair of but it's legendary. I mean, you could have picked a better. Like, that is like a one-on-one Sabu now that they're making action figures of and shit. All these companies, Cardona has one coming out with me, and we have a bunch of action figures coming out. We're doing a bunch of shit, but like, that's a one-on-one Sabu look. That's like the final match look, like Sabu in his white suit, in his Nikes,
mm-hmm.
And there's that picture that Nick Hart took in the locker room. It's like, I still want to get blown up, and when I get my new place, put it on the wall, the giant of him sitting in the locker room after the match with his Nikes and his white pants. But yeah, that shit was, I think it was just eerie that he had the white suit on, but it was all types of excuses.
Dude, I told him he came in looking like the devil. I said, you look like the devil. You were dressed top front to back. Everybody knew you were there to cause havoc. Like, it was just, I said, it was a beautiful send off, whether you know it or not. He goes, yeah, it was better than I thought.
With the hair, whatever
dude,
that
yeah.
is there was crazy. Yeah. When he realized what he put into this, like, this guy was, you could see it in the documentary. He was having a full blown fucking anxiety attack before this match. He was running back and forth. He kept on. This guy was having the worst. Like, that's the main reason he didn't want to come, because he was having such a panic attack.
Yeah. Yeah. He said it was really bad. He said he felt bad that, like, he had a lot. He said there was a ton of people. It was chaotic. He said his foot locked up and he was having issues, and that's why he needed Kratom, was just to kind of help him.
He took Kratom every day, though. He took Kratom every day.
Correct. He said he just needed extra to kind of get him over the hump, which I don't think people know what that's for, but in Nevada, it's perfectly legal and you can pick it up at most any places. And it's used by people sometimes who have issues with stomach, issues with muscles, issues with detoxing. It's really good for people who used to do hard drugs. It's beneficial for them. And again, it's over the counter. This is something you can get when you get gasoline at a gas station, as long as you're
I never 18? Took it in my life. People think, like, now people are like saying, like, Mr. Kratom, like, I'm like the Kratom dealer, or I'm a Kratom user. Dude, I can't even smoke weed without having an anxiety attack. I don't do anything. Like, people say I do this, and I'm a drug addict, and I look like a meth head, I look like a crackhead, but I can't do any of this shit. You know, alcohol was my vice, and I never even touched Kratom, but I knew about Kratom. Apparently, I thought everyone else knew about Kratom, so when I mentioned Kratom, they compared it to, like, they were comparing this shit to, like, Dutch Mantel saying it's like, this is 20 times more powerful than heroin. People are calling it like fentanyl, and no, this is not the situation. Like the reason Sabu is dead is not with us today is because you injected him with Kratom. Like, no, this is something. The first scene that you see Van Damme in the Sabu movie, he rides a bicycle to his house, and he goes, Sabu, I got something for you, and it's a jar of Kratom. So this is Kratom. This is something that you'll like. So right off there, thank you, Rob Van Dam, for getting me off the hook. But not enough people have seen this movie to even care. But it's not even about. Even if I was owed an apology from everyone in the world, no one's going to give me an apology.
Yeah,
it's all about, you know, they never apologize. So he's like, I got dogpiled for days by everyone. For months, but, like, saying that I did something and I should be investigated and Brett should be investigated. Like, Brett is completely off the hook in this situation. The only time Brett seen Sabu that day was when Sabu was going out for his music was playing.
Wow.
So even if Sabu was fucked out of his mind and slumped over in a Kratom comatose state, Brett should completely be off the hook. He has nothing to do with anything. It was all 100% me that said, yes, we can get through this fucking match. I wrestled people more mangled than Sabu is right now. I didn't know anything. They told me about his feet was bleeding, but if you watch that, it was just he had cracked feet. They weren't even fucking bleeding. They super glued him. I don't know. He had, like, cracked feet. They weren't even bleeding. Like, you would think that they were, like,
I think it was callous skin that broke.
Yeah, it's like old man feet.
Yeah.
He just said I need to glue it, and his knees were. But a lot of that, you have to realize that Sabu is always a worker. So a lot of the shit that in the documentary, he's playing it up to a 1,000% max for the viewer, saying to add that, like, he's working me, he's working everybody. Like, will Sabu make it to the fucking show? You know what I'm saying? Like, he knew from the beginning of the day he was coming to that fucking show. He knew he was doing that match, and there was no way around it. He had family in town. He had friends. Everyone was watching. He knew 100% when he woke up in the morning, as much as he didn't want to fucking do the match, or he felt like it would suck or his performance would suck, that he had to do it. And I knew he had to do it. And it wasn't about me. I said at one point in that article that this is one of the biggest shows. There's 1,000 people out there. I'm the most selfless guy in wrestling, you know. I was ready. Tremont was ready to go. But Sabu, when he showed up, he started calling the match to me, like, we'll do this. Like, You're gonna jump. I'm gonna jump off a chair and land on the barbed wire ropes. Then you're gonna rip the fucking jacket off me. He called all that. He was fucking making his blades and stuff to bleed. And I was like, okay. I look at Jimmy Lloyd at one point. I said, this shit is gonna be awesome. I look at Jimmy Lloyd. I go, this is gonna be awesome, because Sabu was the only thing he wanted. Fucking coffee. He wanted fucking coffee. They couldn't find him coffee. That was the only thing. I said, go find fucking Sabu a coffee. Like, his guys couldn't find him a coffee. So go downstairs, find him a fucking coffee. He wants coffee. But
yeah,
we get him a coffee, but
he told me a week or two before the show he'd overdone it working out and his knee and his ankle, and that's what he told me. So
he was fine. He was having a panic attack.
So that's the other thing. He was pretty open about the fact that he was a fucking wreck. And I told him, I said, you shouldn't have been a wreck. You know, you sold the pearl. And he goes, I didn't do that. The boys did. I never told anybody that. I figured I'd tell you that.
Credit for anything. He's like me as far as people always try to give me credit for shit and stuff, but never accept it, because you always feel like you're still the same person you were when you started in this business. But but he was fine. And that whole thing with the barbed wire, him falling through the ring. The thing is, I didn't think that he would fall to the floor. Originally, I was just going to whip him in to a barbed wire board on the post. But I said, I don't want anything to happen if I whip him into the barbed wire board. These look kind of flimsy. What if it snaps and he smacks his head on the post and then he's out? So I said, I'll just move it to the rope and he'll just gingerly go through it. And but then he shot through that shit like a fucking missile and went right to the fucking floor. And I was like, oh my God, you got to see, like, there's a fan cam like of that clip of me like looking like shit. I fucking killed this guy when I was trying to save him from smashing this post. But he got up. He came in, and I mean, the crowd was going fucking crazy. They were chanting, "This is awesome." They were chanting anything you could think of. It was just awesome. It was just it was like, that's why I felt like a simulation. Like, this is not real. Like, then they're sending Atticus and Otis out early because they think Sabu's dead.
Yep.
And then the Sandman, then we're sitting in the ring, and Sandman is doing his, just sitting there and watching. You're like, fuck, is Sabu dead? And the lights are out, and Sandman is doing his entrance. You're just sitting there watching, like, what have I created? Like, what is this situation right now? It's just like it is such a good match. Like, it's a match that you could show a non-wrestling fan and they'd be into it. Like, what is going on here? Why is this guy coming out to this drinking beer in this crowd to this whole other Sandman? You could show that match to a non-wrestling fan and they would think it was the greatest thing they ever seen. But I think it's top 5 matches of my career for sure. I can say that with confidence that is a maybe top 3 match right now for me. And I said this many times. I said I can get signed to WWE. I can go back to AEW. I can be on WrestleMania. I can do that. And I don't write any of that stuff off because the wrestling business is so weird that it could happen. Like, I could get a call tomorrow and say, we need to fill this. You know, it's just the way the wrestling business is. That nothing will mean more than what I did with Sabu and the send-off we gave him that night. And it was just awesome. And you got to see this documentary. I'm sure it'll be on some kind of streaming service maybe before the new year, which then everyone will watch it. But yeah, it's great. And I was nervous about it too. I was like, shit. I was like, fuck, what if he's snorting kratom in the hotel room or some shit? He wasn't, you don't even snort kratom. But people don't even know how to do it. They said, you gave him kratom. You're the kratom dealer. You and Brett, you just pay people in kratom now. They always said Brett Lauderdale pays his wrestlers in drugs. It's always been like I don't know who made up this rumor or what or where this came from, but they're always like, yeah, Brett Lauderdale pays his wrestlers in drugs. But he pays them in kratom now.
Ever since bath salts went away, we just haven't had, the fun like we used to.
I mean, bath salts, that would be something to be concerned about if wrestling bath salts. Dude, we almost got WrestleMania weekend. The first WrestleMania weekend I went to, I was working for High Spots, 2012 in Miami. We were just talking about this the other day. Bunch of shit happened. I didn't even wrestle that week. I just filmed shows for High Spots. I ran Vader's table. I ran Stan Hansen's table that weekend at the whatever it was before WrestleCon, whatever they called it. But me and Piggy Sanchez, we were hanging out with two really hot girls in a fucking hot tub. Like really hot girls. It was like the day we got there, and I was talking to these really hot chicks, and we got in a hot tub with them. We were like cuddling up. I was cuddling up with these fucking girls, and this guy came up, and he was on bath salts and tried fucking attacking us. And then the cops had to come and fucking tase him. Like that was like fucked up. That like this guy just came up to the hot tub. He's like, like a zombie, and just started trying to like grab at us.
Oh shit!
And this when bath salts were like the big. That was like the big thing. Like the guy just ate the person.
Yeah.
Over there in Miami area, on the bat. But this guy was on bath salts, and the cops came, and they had to fucking like he was trying to attack security. They had to tase him out, and they were like, yeah, he was on bath salts. That's what the cops told us. We were like, well, we figured that. He was like a zombie trying to like, fuck, man. Missed the days of the bath salts, dude.
I wanted to put this up here because Kite, the same one, also paid to just say thank you for that Sabu match. And if he didn't want that match, he wouldn't have showed up, period. Yeah. No one tells Sabu what to
do. It was the perfect send-off, and it would have been a shame if that match didn't happen and then he passed away a month later, because then it would never. Because who knows, you know? I mean, I talked to his family, you know, but he passed from was completely unrelated to wrestling.
Yeah.
And you know, it just sad it happened. You know, I just
oh my goodness
happened.
But I was just wondering, was Tylee the one that got the cat fixed, or was that a different girl?
Tylee,
yeah.
Did what?
Was Tylee the one that got the cat fixed of what's his name?
Mr. Money?
Yeah. Or was that another
She
girl?
was a part of it.
Okay.
She was one of Teddy's hosts. He was a pimp. I don't know. I don't think that happened, but she I don't know. Bad news with her. And it's just they're all mad at her. I don't know if anything has changed, but she wasn't giving up Sabu shit. Like his whole outfit from the final match she had, along with other shit, a lot of Melissa Coe's shit. She wasn't giving it up. Like we tried to like get her. Like I was just as much part of that as his whole crew, his family, and everything, trying to call her and convince her like how much money will it take for you to relinquish Sabu shit to his family and his friends.
Yeah.
She wouldn't give it up. I don't know if that's still the situation, but
what a pain in the ass that is.
Yeah. I mean, she was always, I don't know, she said she got advice from Teddy Hart, and Teddy Hart said, don't give up his shit. Like, what does Teddy Hart have to do this? Why are you calling Teddy Hart?
Oh, geez.
Like, that's why Teddy Hart's like, no, sell it. Sell it to the guys. Sell it to the marks. That's what he was telling her, legit. Sell Sabu shit to the marks. Don't give it back to his family. Like,
and then that stuff will end up getting sold for less than it should be sold for then.
Yeah, just terrible. Yeah. I don't know if they got it back. But they're trying to offer a large lump sum to his lawyer and stuff to get it back, his lawyer Josh, to get the stuff back from her. But yeah, she's always been bad news. But she's the one she was Mr. Money situation. I don't know if she got it fixed or what. She could be. Yeah. But she's still breeding cats. Like
he is?
They had like 12 cats. No.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, they had like 12 little cats. She asked if I wanted one, and I was gonna give one to my girlfriend's sister. We just had to name it Sabu. But
Yeah.
I said, I'll get one of the cats, but you have to name it Sabu. But no, we never heard from anything about that. But they had like Sabu and her like breeded like 12 cats right before he died. It's fucking weird. Like Tiger King shit.
How interesting.
Very interesting people.
So we hit the 2-hour mark, and I'm not kidding you. We didn't get through half the questions.
Keep on going. Let's go.
We will keep going, but I will tell you, if a part 2 happens down the road, don't be surprised at this point. We'll lighten it up a little. What's been the craziest thing you've had a fan do to get your attention?
Get my attention?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Has it just been the basic send pictures, or have you had someone out in the crowd somewhere do something stupid?
I mean, there's been fans like when I did the Janela zone thing, I would tell fans to run through their closet door or smash their like mothers, like run through your door, and the mother would come in like, "What the fuck?" And these people come up to me. I'm gonna go outside and light up a smoke, but I would these people like last at the convention in Texas before the AEW show.
Mm-hmm.
Fans coming to me like, remember me? I'm Big Curtis. I ran through my mother's closet door and she fucked me for 2 months. That time they would just do anything, but I mean, of course, there's always like female wrestling fans like sending pictures of their tits and shit. Not really anymore because they realize that Megan Bain would smash them to bits. But I guess that consider if fans are trying to get my attention, I guess that we could consider that of fans sending titty pictures.
Looking back, is there someone in the industry you worked with and you can say, you know, they were good, but they didn't get everything they should have gotten? Is there someone out there that you can think of? Well, yeah, there's a good one.
I mean, that's the number one.
Yeah.
You know, that is the number one. Like when it's all said and done, you know, that guy should have been a multi-millionaire. Like Loki's another one. Loki could have been a multi-millionaire, but he didn't want to play the game, and he was just fucking batshit in the brain. That's the guy who could have been multi-millionaire. Yeah. There's a lot of guys like that, you know, Austin Aries got a little bit more than him, you know, in as far as a career, you know. Maybe about the same, but these guys getting in front of themselves, you know. There's a lot of guys that should be multi-millionaires by this point, better or not. I seen Loki, you know. I don't know what he does. He lives in Orlando somewhere, you know. But I could say the same about myself, you know, when it's all said and done. Who knows? I might have a job somewhere, I think, in the office somewhere. I've built up enough goodwill to at least have an opportunity at something like that. Unless I go crazy one day. Who knows?
50-50.
Could happen. Right now, I'm pretty good.
I was going to say, are you looking at maybe trainer, agent, anything like that down the road at all?
I can't be a trainer because I've never trained myself. No, but agent for sure, you know, or writer or something, you know. Agent 100%. Like that's one of my great points about my brain, how to put together compelling, must-see matches.
I got a quick question regarding the agents. Like when the AEW has like their big, crazy kind of GCW style matches, like do they look to like specific talent, like agents? Is there a specific agent for like those kind of matches compared to other TV style or what? Like, because that's why I think you would have a good. Okay. Jerry
Lynn is the main one in that aspect. I think he's the main agent. Well, other agents don't know what the fuck they're doing. You know, my girlfriend there now, you know, and people I wrestle with, you know, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's like, why do these people have jobs? I'm always going to say that, you know. Some of them are great. You know.
Is there more
Jerry
agents
Lynn,
now?
Jerry Lynn, Christopher Daniels, you know, guys like that, you know. Great agents, but there's other ones. Just like, it's mind-boggling. It's like if I wanted to quit right now, I could call and get an agent job somewhere.
Do you think is there more agents now in AEW compared to like the beginning when you were there? Because I think that's where like me as a fan, I feel where I lost a lot of my AEW kind of not lost it, but like kind of fell out of AEW for a little bit was it kind of went away from what it was at the beginning being something completely different than WWE to slowly kind of copying and doing what they're doing with all the agents and writers and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of agents. There's not a lot of writers. A lot of that's coming from Tony's brain.
Okay.
His marijuana smoking brain. But I think RJ City he creatively has. I think it started with like Jimmy Jacobs when he was there. He had Tony's ear, and now RJ City has certain things, and the other guy I think is Will Washington. I think that's his name.
Yeah.
I think those guys have Tony's ear. That those guys help creatively with him. That it's not like it was like back in the day. Like you could find Tony anywhere. You could hang out with Tony after the show. Everyone would like whatever hotel we're at, like go and smoke weed. And Tony was there. You know, he was the one with the weed. You know, and you could just shoot the shit with him there. But now he's more. Ever since the CM Punk situation, he's more secluded. You know, Vince McMahon, like he's in his room. He's in his locker room, and he's got security in front of his door. So you can't just go in. Like back in the day, I would just go and bust in Tony. Just not even knock. Just go walk into his dressing room and shoot the shit with him. But now it's, ever since the CM Punk thing, I think it's, opened his eyes about the wrestling business a little bit more. But he's a lot more people now, like WWE-esque, like someone to relay information from an agent to him. He has that now. Like the same way Vince did,
Good to know, because I've been a fan of AEW since day one, and I know I feel like there's been a little shift. Now it's kind of gotten a lot better towards it, but I always wondered if the writing, how the agent room was kind of like with the matches there.
I think it's good now. I think AEW is a pretty good product.
Yep.
The pay-per-views especially. Fucking, it's like watching these shows is like, how is this? It's like PWG-esque. Like, how are these guys going to top the last match we just saw? And they do somehow. So, kudos to them. The pay-per-views are definitely must-see compared to WWE's. WWE's always like WrestleMania and stuff. They're always a spectacle to watch, But if you want to see fucking real wrestling and compelling shit, watch AEW pay-per-view. Their TV week to week is not as good as their pay-per-views are. But also, I can't really talk shit because I've never booked a TV wrestling product. I've never booked a product week to week. I've only booked my big shows.
Yeah.
Could be probably pretty difficult.
We had a fan just ask here, Joey, do you think GCW could or would do a tag team deathmatch tournament?
That would be cool.
Loaded.
That'd be cool as hell. I would ask that if you have Brett on, ask him that question. Me? Yeah, I think that's a cool idea. IW Mid-South used to do a double death.
Yeah.
Tournament. That was kind of cool. But yeah, I think that would be cool, man. Yeah, that's a question for Brett, though.
Kind of going off of the tag team deathmatch question there, you've had, as of recently, especially in Phoenix, you had a couple new up-and-coming talents in GCW as Redacted, Bear Bronson. What are your thoughts on the new talent coming into GCW as of late?
Love them. Love it. It's like it's a new golden age of deathmatch wrestling. And all those guys,
fun new toys.
And all those guys can have real wrestling matches without weapons. Besides Redacted, of course, but he knows that. Redacted is he's an interesting, one of the nicest guys ever. In ring, I had a great match with him. Very interesting wrestler. But yeah, there's people like he's one of the most over deathmatch guys right now in the world. So, kudos to him. Whatever he's doing, it's working.
Yeah.
But guys like Bear Bronson and Danger, like you don't have to have a weapon in the match for them to have a compelling, great match. And Redacted, he can have a compelling, great match too without a weapon. I just think he chooses not to because he's so unorthodox and out of the box. But I've been making this comparison. A Bear reminds me a lot of Zandig. Slade reminds me of Wife Beater, and Danger reminds me of Nick Mondo.
Oh, that's
Interesting.
I had a question later. Who do you think's going to be the next Joey Janela in GCW?
Fuck, man. There's only one Joey Janela, and I suggest anyone try to be the next Joey Janela. There has been some. Please don't try, because there's only one me, and you will fail. Be yourself, and do your own thing. And you know, if you dedicate yourself to the business enough, and you get booked enough, you'll make it somewhere. It's only for you to run with the ball, But there's people that are like, I want to be the next Joey Janela. There's always been people like that, especially the last 10 years. Like, I watched you when I was fucking 10 years old do this. I'm like, please, don't do anything I did in the business, Me right now, I'm not a millionaire, I'm still living off Tony Khan's money, but it ain't it's not coming from a check with my name on it. I won at the end of the day. I'm still eating lobster. I'm still eating lobster off his fucking bank account. But it's just, my name is not on the check, so I won at the end of the day. But shit, I want to be a multi-millionaire. You know what I'm saying? And I won't be. I'd say since the Zandig match, maybe I've made altogether close to $1 million. But that AEW contract money was gone in 60 seconds, brother. That did not go in any savings account. Always just the Cody Rhodes. Spend now and make more later. Well, that worked for you, Cody.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm still driving a piece of shit car, but I really don't care. It's never been really about the money to me, but I wish I was a millionaire so I can gamble a little bit more on blackjack.
More cigarettes.
More cigarettes. No, cigarettes are fine. I got those. Got those down pat. Like, there's always money set aside for cigarettes. But shit, it's like a roller coaster. Sometimes now on the indies, it's like I'm not doing the merch money I was once doing, because how many Joey Janela t-shirts do you want to fucking own? I've been on top of the indies for 10 years now.
Yep.
I've been one of the top dogs. It's like, shit, there's still people that will buy every Joey Janela shirt. But shit, now I gotta think about it. Now I sell the shirts for a little bit more money, and I do pretty well for myself. But it's true. How many Joey Janela shirts do you want to own? And how many times you want to walk into a mall and some guy goes, "That guy in your shirt, he killed Sabu."
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's a struggle.
It's like a roller coaster ride of a bank account situation for me right now.
Well, no one thinks about the fact that if you are established in an area and this is a merch game, it's not easy to sell merch if you've been selling it in the same territory, we'll say, for years upon years, no matter the design change. Sometimes
that's the thing. The whole United States for the last 10 years has been my territory. So
yeah.
There's new guys people want to buy merch from. And that's the same. That goes for everywhere. That's not just the indies. That's just not me saying I'm cooked or whatnot. That's WWE too. How many Roman Reigns t-shirts can you? There's always going to be true Roman Reigns fans that support Roman Reigns since the beginning, but a lot of fans don't want to have 30 Roman Reigns shirts in their closet.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's hard, dude. But I do all right for myself. I travel the world on someone else's wallet, and I do what I want to do. People can't tell me what to do. And that's just the way I always wanted it to be, But never say never to me getting back into the swing of things, on television. I didn't burn bridges. I didn't say anything negative, but it has to be worth it to me, for me to get back in that mindset and deal with the internet. When you realize you're on TV every week, not only you're getting sometimes praised every week, but with the praise comes the ridicule and people telling you to kill yourself every day because they think you suck at wrestling or that you don't go to the gym enough. That shit's mentally draining, And in the indies, I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
I just do my own thing. But fuck them. Anyways, I will be back one day on TV, and I know that, but it's just not now.
Well, me and Brant talk all the time. Well, we have at least before talked about the fact that we're almost happy that this little atmosphere that we're in isn't bigger, because here comes the crazies. You know what I mean? It just the more general population you add into anything, you're gonna get one or two oddballs that mess it up for everyone. And we've been very fortunate at this level, being a very Twitter heavy show. We don't catch much shit, fortunately, but we know that if we were covering other companies, we'd be getting crazy ass fans. Just
crazy.
Yeah.
The fans are crazy. The tribalism is crazy. You know what I'm saying? It is crazy.
I think a big misunderstanding is, I think a lot of the fans feel the wrestlers are also tribal, and they don't think they're contacting each other outside of work.
I mean, there is tribalism amongst wrestlers. But this shit would have been 100 times worse if Twitter existed during WCW and WWF wars. You know, it would have been a lot crazier. But it is crazy, you know what I'm saying? Because there's all these tribalism, and there's these influencers now, and there's influencers that were big TV wrestling names that can influence and sway people with their opinions on what they believe is good wrestling. You know, there's always going to be people, no matter what I do in this business till the end, that think I am the worst wrestler of all time. And much of my, colleagues and people around the industry know that's not the case at all. And a lot of fans know that's not the case at all either, but there will always be people thinking that I am the worst wrestler of all time. And nothing will sway their opinion, because they don't want to upset anyone in the sphere they're in, or their influencers that they enjoy, you know. I've swayed some Cornette fans that have come to GCW shows just with their friends and stuff, said, hey, I always listen to Cornette. I thought you were some 400-pound whale guy. I was expecting to come to this show to talk shit about you, but now I get it, and I will buy a t-shirt off you that I get now what people like about you.
Yeah.
But it's hard, because the same fans, for the most part, I had a lot more in 2015. I'll tell you, I had a lot more fans than I do now, whether it be what I said on the internet, or working people too much to believe that the personality they see in the ring is a real life dick bag, or fans that have been swayed by influencers to think I'm uncool to be a fan of. And that's a lot of things. That's another thing with my merch. The reason my merch is selling, because it's, people sometimes think, oh, if I wear this Joey Janela shirt to a AEW WWE show, people will make fun of me or some shit.
Yeah.
It's just weird tribalism shit, it's weird. And that's not only, it's the same model in politics. In mainstream politics, it's the same model. The left and the right, it's the same thing. AEW, WWE. And there's all these influencers that are swaying everyone's opinion, and that's how people start believing that QAnon, or started believing that QAnon bullshit. Because it was the cool thing to do in their sphere, not on, of who they followed, or who they would get the most retweets from on social media. So it just is what it is. You just got to take the good with the bad, I enjoy it. I enjoy being polarizing. I enjoy being polarizing, because it keeps my name out there. And I haven't been on mainstream television wrestling in 4 years, and people still talk about me every day. It's because how polarized I am, and the way I just, go about my stuff.
Wow. I'm afraid to go to another question or say anything. That was, noticed everybody just shut the fuck up and listen to that. That was fantastic. Okay, living or dead, who's the one person in wrestling you'd like to just sit down and talk to?
Terry Funk.
What would you two be talking about? Great choice, by the way.
I don't know. I met Terry Funk a couple times, but we didn't really get to talk. So he's been a very nice guy. But now, in this present day, sitting a guy like Terry Funk or a guy like Tracy Smothers, those are guys I really never got to talk to, you know? But who knows what we talk about if I was still drinking and, we went out for a couple beers, Those are when the best conversations happen. Amongst some beer and some cocaine.
Quite a few people said that Terry would have.
That's not from me. That's not a quote from me. That's a quote from Bret Hart in his book or some shit. It really is.
I haven't read his book. I'm guessing it's decent.
Yeah, I thought it was one of the best books. I read it years ago, but pretty sure it's right. One of the top wrestling books, like probably his, Jericho's, and Foley's are probably the top 3 wrestling books. Period.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to roll through. I'm halfway through Heenan's book, Bobby Heenan's book, and I've got JR's book after that coming up. So I don't know. JR writes like one chapter is a page and a half. That's my kind of guy right there.
Yeah, JR's a cool dude. He was when I was in AEW, he was always someone that pushed for me, actually, believe it or not, which is weird. You would think Jim Ross fucking despised, but Jim Ross loved me for some reason. I don't know why. But he'd be like, Tony, we got to turn this kid heel. He'll be a star as a heel. He'll be a heel. We got to turn Janela heel. He's not a baby face. He's a heel. He should be a heel. He'd be a star as a heel. I'd be walking by his trailer, whatever, he'd be like, Janela, you got a cigarette? Come in. And I'd go into his trailer and we just chain smoke cigarettes, me and Jim Ross. That was a situation I was in. Jim Ross rules. I like him. I think was though. So last time at the convention, I don't know. He's been going through it, health issues, cancer, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I walked up to him and I think he didn't even know who I was. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe he's fucked. I don't know. But he used to be really cool with me. We got to turn Janela heel. We got to turn Janela heel. He'd say like every week, like, and they have little, and he'd be like, Janela, yesterday we had a meeting on Skype, and I said, I pushed for you. I said, we got to turn you heel. And that went on for like 3 years. And then I did go heel, and then I left, which was going well, me going heel.
Huh.
It was going well. But, kick someone a little bit too hard in the face, and then everyone gets a little sad. And then I'm like, I'm not dealing with this shit anymore. I'm out of here. That's what happened.
This is my last serious question, and then we'll try to have a little more fun here. When people go back and study your tapes 20 years from now, Joey, what do you hope people see in your work?
I mean, how to have a must-see match, like structure-wise. No one has gotten more out of the older guys or the younger guys than me. So when it's all said and done, I think I'll have a pretty good reputation because all the haters will probably be dead by then. I think I'll have a whole nother run. My career can either go 2 ways. It could go the Ricky Morton way, where I keep on wrestling until I'm dead, and could work, or I can go the other way, where I become an agent for a big company, or creative, or run my own company. Or it can all happen, but who knows? I don't know. I'm 36 now. It's still kind of young, but we're just having fun right now. But I hope people go back and watch and be like, my matches with like Sabu and my matches with like Ricky Morton or whoever I've wrestled. I've wrestled them all, like all these strange Barry Horowitz. That's one you must see if you haven't seen it. It's free on YouTube, where Barry Horowitz hasn't wrestled in like 20 years, and I carry him through a 30-minute match, and his knees, and he looks like he has as much motion as an LJN action figure. I carry him through this fucking 30-minute hardcore match. It's just really, really something else. And that might be one of my greatest carry jobs of all time. I've had a few. Like, I put that up there. Like, I put the Sabu one up there just because Sabu. But it wasn't really a carry job, to be honest. Sabu was more mobile than you would think. But as far as that match structure-wise, was perfect. The way I called that, like, that's a match I planned out 6 months before it happened. You know? As soon as I knew that match was happening, like my match for spring break next year, I already have the match in my head.
Hmm.
And it will probably go. And that's how all my great matches, I like as soon as they get booked or it's a big match like spring break, like I'll have that match in my head and I have the finish and I have for the most part the entire thing and I know it's gonna be good. But I hope people can go back and watch my matches and realize, man, this guy was fucking great worker, can make anyone look good. Even like Jeff Hart, who was like an untrained hillbilly $5 wrestler, right? Wrestled for 30 minutes. Or, you know, they said some guys can wrestle the broom. Like they all said, oh, this guy could wrestle a broom and make a broom look good. I wrestle the Invisible Man and make the Invisible Man look good. Why are you shitting on me?
Right.
I can wrestle thin air and have a good match with thin air. Why are you shitting on me when you can say this guy, Bret Hart, can make a broom look good? I can make a broom look good too. You know, just hope I get my flowers someday in that aspect. You know, I do somewhat. Well, I feel like fans are a lot nicer than me than they were a few years ago.
I think 20 years from now, just like ECW, it'll be a cult status thing. And I think that you'll have your own personality within the company that people will look back on and be like, this was his part, you know, of the company. Just like they would look back on some of these other ECW wrestlers. This was his part. This was his. You're going to have your part. And I think that people are going to look back and really enjoy themselves.
Yeah, I think so. But I hope GCW, it's already outlasted ECW.
Yep.
But I hope it never gets to the point where it shuts down. If it does shut down, I hope it's for personal reasons that Brett just doesn't want to do it anymore. You know, and wants to retire, or he wants to sell it and someone else fucks it up. I hope it never gets to a situation where checks are getting bounced or people are not getting paid and the way the ECW went out. You know, I feel like the way Brett does business, it could 100%, 1,000% last another 10 years, another 10, 20 years. With the model he has, I mean, it's like I said, it's like you have to, GCW, it's good streaming if you're, you know, if you're real into it, you know, you can watch a show and you be into it streaming. I'm not going to say that's every wrestling fan, but being there live is where it's at. It's like when a touring act comes to your town, or like when a band comes to your town, or the circus comes in town, that once a year, you know, wherever we're at, Phoenix, Arizona, or somewhere, you gotta go see it. You know, you gotta see it to get drunk with your friends and have a good time, and you know, like escape reality for a second. You know, the experience is the live experience. You know, the streaming experience is great, and the production has gotten 100 times better thanks to Ash. And we don't lose feeds shit anymore or anything like that. We're the top of the line when it comes to indie wrestling production on streaming apps. 100%. IWTV still doesn't have it down. IWTV, you watch a show. I try to watch if I want to watch some deathmatch wrestling, if I'm home on a Friday night and there's a no holds barred show somewhere, I want to watch it, the feed drops out 4 fucking times. But still, we have a great stream, we have great production, but the live experience is where it's at. And I feel like for 10 years from now, you can just follow the formula that he has now. And even 5 years from now, it's even going to be a bigger thing because all the people that have gone through GCW.
So that's the other thing is
all the guys coming back trying to reestablish their names, trying to follow the Cardona formula, and all the guys trying to make it right before they get their big break. I think it's a great formula, and I think it's different from any other indie promotion in history. And it's cool, man. I think it'll last a long time. I don't know how long I'll last there, but probably forever. I say this every year. Fuck. It's like, how much could I do? And just fucking. But then you look and the other indie promotions that people were raving and ranting about, no one's watching those either.
Yeah.
Like DCW is the only thing like worth when the only indie promotions that people are actually watching. You know, I've gone to places like, I wish like Defy, their shows are amazing. I wish they still had the amount of buzz they did 5 years ago before they got live streaming. You know, people were talking about those shows like crazy. but no one is watching any wrestling anymore because it's on TV on Wednesdays, on Saturdays. You don't have to pay for it anymore. You don't have to go out of your way to watch it. There's no more like GCW is the only company that you can click a hashtag and see somewhat of a thread, or you can go on Reddit and see somewhat of something. But back in the day, when I was doing Beyond Wrestling, it was the main event of Beyond Wrestling like for 3 years straight. You go on Reddit and those shows would have crazy threads about the shows, the live experience. That doesn't really exist anymore, but it's like there's nothing really else out there. It's GCW right now. It's GCW, TNA, WWE, AEW, and that's about it. I mean, is MLW, maybe a little bit of NWA if you're into that weird shit. I don't know. I don't even know who wrestles in NWA, and besides Kenzie Page, that's probably the only person I know who wrestles for NWA. But there's people that watch it; they keep on running. I don't know, but you can't even click. It's like the visibility of indie wrestling is at an all-time low on social media. But the live houses are great.
Isn't that interesting too? How does that make sense? But somehow it does. It's almost like the fans that are fans have stuck around, but getting new fans have not been as. The neighborhood has shrunk a little.
I mean, yeah, the neighborhood has shrunk. Oh, Deadlock is there. They're doing their thing too, but they're not. They don't live stream their shows, and that hurts them a lot, I think.
Yeah.
And like West Coast Pro and the other shit. What's the other money mark promoter? Prestige. Those get like somewhat visibility online. I think like West Coast is going. They were on High Spots, but now they're going on YouTube. That will help them a little bit. Deadlock doesn't put their shit on live, but a lot of people watch that. That's like the alternative right now. The GCW is Deadlock. It's like Deadlock's better. That's what they write under the GCW shit, but they're doing it too. That guy John Blood, he was sitting in the crowd with me at CCW, and now he's a great promoter and booker and stuff. But I mean, Indian wrestling is at an all-time low visibility on social media, but GCW, it's like we've been in LA for 5 years now, selling out almost every time.
Yeah.
Like they're starving for wrestling there, but that's our territory now. But still, it's like that's unheard of to sell out that building as much times as we did. And that's bigger than Reseda. That's bigger than the new building they were running. We were selling that shit out every time. There's been times we didn't sell it out, but it was still a pretty good house, but it wasn't a sellout.
Oh, yeah.
But fuck, that's like our home, Mike. And of course, the business in AC has dipped down a little bit, I think. That's another, because that's just the nature of the game, Of course, there's there's a lot of tribalism amongst deathmatch wrestling fans these days. On Facebook, as that seems.
a little bit.
But that's why Brett's Brett was smart. He's like, I needed to get away from these fucking fans before it gets like this. He knew where it was going,
Yeah, the tribalism thing is weird. I feel like, because I'm Switzerland. I've been cool with everybody as much as I can. I feel like there's maybe a half dozen to a dozen people that are really causing things back and forth. And if those dozen or so wouldn't, I think things would be a little more settled. And I think Facebook would be a little more boring, but I like waking up and reading those feeds.
These people are crazy. I think we had that Facebook groups and stuff like those people are crazy, man. People are fucking crazy. I mean, they shit all over me. They're like, we used to buy shirts from you, and now you're a piece of shit. I don't know. I think you're the piece of shit, man. I don't want you to be my fan. I don't want you to wear my fucking shirt. If you're making fun of gays or trans people, or you're being fucking basically a racist loser in that sphere of the tiny bubble of deathmatch wrestling, if you're acting like this, that's when I was like, when that shit started happening, of course, this is just the world we live in now, that you see this in everything. You know, people are in my lifetime, I think people are the most racist, most hateful people in the history of my life. It's never been worse. You know, I don't think it's been this bad since probably the 70s and shit. But I feel like people take that, they see what people are writing in politics, and they don't give a shit, and they can say whatever they want and say this person is a man, or this person being trans person, that's not something, that's just a psychological issue, and these people shouldn't, you know, be looked at the same as a regular human. They see that shit and they bring that into something like a tiny bubble like Deathmatch Facebook, and they think it's okay. And it's like, people are fucking crazy, dude. It's like, I need to get out of here. And I think Brett saw the writing on the wall before it happened.
Yeah,
these guys are crazy. Like, these guys are just fucking nuts.
Dude, I was just really surprised because when I got into independent wrestling, I really didn't see a lot of this shit. And this was, oh God, early 2000s. But I noticed as the internet became more prevalent through time, it seemed like every election cycle, you could start to see there were separations of people. And it's kind of sad because I don't think people understand how small the community is.
It's small.
And they're fucking with each other.
Yeah, it's small. It shows the AC shows and shit. But that is what it is. We don't want those people at our fucking shows. We don't want people like that. If you're gonna say that shit, if you're gonna say whatever, it's the weirdo shit you say on, we don't want you at our fucking shows. That we've grown past the point of needing fans like you, and we do. We are a very inclusive wrestling promotion. We have people wrestling. We have trans people. We have gay people. Our champion's the biggest gay wrestler in the fucking world right now.
That's right.
We have people, different race of people. We've had people with no fucking legs wrestle on our fucking shows. We are the melting pot of, you know, you're not going to see, you know, they tried. They're like, whoa, this guy worked for GCW. He had no legs. Let's bring him on AEW television. That was fucking great. That was good for him. You never see that again. But we are the most inclusive wrestling promotion in the world right now. You're going to see shit that you've never seen and you won't see anywhere on television. You're going to see females wrestling guys. You're going to see, you know, trans wrestlers wrestling women, trans wrestlers wrestling men. You know, it's you're going to see gay champions. You're going to see all types of shit, and that's what makes indie wrestling so beautiful. And these people are just fucking hateful scum fucks on all places, Facebook. And we're like, we don't need you guys anymore. You know, we don't need it. You know, we've grown past the need, but it hurts everything. You know, it hurts, but it hurts good sometimes. So get these people out of, like,
I get it.
Our bubble, our GCW bubble. You know, we don't want that shit. But that's it. It's just like, it's all social media. It's like, people have never been so hateful in their lives, in our lifetimes, especially a public forum. I'm not just saying like right wing, far right people. It's also far left people, you know, that are doing shit to people before, you know. It's just fucked up. It's just a fucked up world we live in, and we don't need it in indie wrestling. But it's, of course, life in our tiny bubble mimics life outside the bubble. So.
Okay, then let's do some more fun questions. I don't want to get you too far down the line. Okay, here's a fun one. In your travels, have you fallen in love with any area of the country or world that you'd consider maybe a second place?
I mean, Japan is sick.
Yeah.
You know, Japan is really sick. Like, the food there is the fucking best. To the point that if I had to, I would be homesick. I love the USA. But if I had to, if worse comes to worse, and I had to move to Japan to continue my wrestling career, I would do it in a heartbeat. But I mean, all these places, England is cool, you know. You know, people go, "Oh, I hate the food in England." It's like, I mean, you're just not going to the right spots. You know, I can live in England. I can live anywhere. England's cool. Anywhere the UK is cool. You know, you go to Mexico, it's cool. Canada's cool. You know, I wrestled in South Korea, Australia, everywhere. It's all, I mean, everywhere. It's all cool. It's like, shit, you've made it to the point where someone's flying you to this country, to somewhere. Like, most people in their lifetime will never go to Alaska. I've been to Alaska 4 times. We went to Alaska for the first time with GCW this week. And we drew a great house, you know. We went to Hawaii, you know. Most people don't get to go to these places. We get to go to these places and perform and have a good time, you know. So I love everywhere I go, you know, even in the U.S.
So when you say a drink tastes like cum, is it salty or sweet?
I don't know. I don't even know why I do that, but it works. People that go, Janela, what does it taste like? People bringing me always at signings, weird Mountain Dews and shit, weird drinks, making me do drink reviews with them. I mean, it works, I guess. I wish it got on, like, I wish I did it and it got in the right eyes or something, and it just went viral overnight, and that could be my thing. I just go, it tastes like cum, and it just gets 1 million views. I get paid fucking $1 million a year just to say that.
He's the taste like cum guy.
That's it. That's what I have in wrestling, basically. Anyway, it's either the taste like cum guy, the guy who killed Sabu, or the guy that got thrown off a roof by Zandig. That's like that's the 3 bubbles that you're in right now.
Hey, on a good note, that's a lot to put on a gravestone, though. At least you did something with your life.
Tastes like cum, killed Sabu, got thrown off a roof by Zandig. R.I.P. Joey Janela. Great life.
Oh man, do you have any?
I had a couple hot girlfriends. That is my legacy.
Well, you can put that on the top of the tombstone. Start
Put
it
it
with
on the
that
bottom.
one.
They'll put if anyone's in charge of my gravestone besides me, they'll put it in the tiniest font in the world. Everything else will be huge.
Do you have any pets?
No, I don't have any pets. I tried a dog thing once. I met a girl. I'm not gonna mention her by name, but during COVID, she would come in my she was a wrestler, come in my Instagram lives, and I started talking to her because she was hot. Then I moved to Florida with her, and then within a month, she was like, "Let's get a dog." I'm like, "It's too soon to get a dog. I just moved here." It's like I don't even know if I've made the right choice moving to Florida. And she's like, "You're getting a fucking dog if you like it or not." And I said, "Okay, I'll get a fucking dog." I guess at the end of the day, now I've seen the dog for maybe 3 months out of my life, and I don't even know where the dog is right now. So that's the closest thing to a pet I've had. And Megan her family has a dog that she got when she was like 19 that comes over every time I'm at her house. His name is Nugget. I told her to go get Nugget, or I'm sleeping. I sleep till like 2 p.m. every day. She's up early. She's got the gym done before 11 o'clock. And then how she wakes me up is Nugget. She brings Nugget into the house. He comes up on the bed, and I wake up because Nugget. So I guess that's close to a pet I have. But once I move in with her, I'm sure we'll get a dog or two. You know, I'm confident on this.
Yeah. I'm confident on this one. He said.
Yeah, I'm confident on this.
Good.
We're good. We're good with this relationship.
Hey, no
the Ho
shit.
Janela days are over. Janela is over.
Hover. I want to say congratulations to you. Just the fact that you're happy and doing it, man. Happy for you. You know?
Hell yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Do you collect anything?
I collect wrestling figures, but I stopped. I sold a lot of it, but I still have every Hasbro not on card WWF figure. I have every one. I had them all. I had 75% of them on card too, but I sold them for like $6,000 when I needed the money. But I would never sell. That's like something like I could be homeless on the fucking streets. And that's the one thing, like, you'll never take my Hasbro wrestling figure collection. I will never sell that. And I will never, I have Terry Funk's Last Warren bandana, and I will never sell that either.
Wow.
So those are two things. If I'm homeless on the streets, I'll have a sack, and what will be in the sack will be all my Hasbro figures and Terry Funk's Last bandana and nothing else.
Alec Price also likes to collect LJNs, I think. He was another one we
LJNs?
spoke
I didn't
to.
know. He never told me anything about that.
Yeah, man. We had a show and tell one night, and I think he whipped out, was it a Macho Man? B, do you remember?
I don't remember what character, but yeah, I remember him saying he collected them.
He's like, I just got this in the mail. Check it out. It's kind of cool.
AEW, I went hard with my money on, but I did make profit on everything I've sold.
Nice.
Crazy profit, actually. But the LJNs are rough. I mean, not the LJNs. The Hasbros are rough to get paid for. Like the 1, 2, 3 kit alone is like outside the box is like close to $1,000 if you want it in good condition. I don't have the mailways. There's like a mailway Hogan. There's a mailway Taker. There's a mailway Brett that I don't have that I will have one day. As soon as I feel like spending the money on them. But no one's got figures like Cardona. Dude's got some of the craziest figures of all time. Like when I was growing up, it was like everyone was always talking about the Moonbelly Kamala figure. And it's like the Moonbelly's the rarest figure in the world. And then Cardona has the Moonbelly, but then he has like 20 figures more rare than the Moonbelly Kamala.
Mm-hmm. Good. I mean, seriously, good for him. That's fucking.
Yeah,
I mean, if you have the money, go for it, man. Be a kid.
I mean, his life is based around action figures. I mean, he has a successful podcast about action figures. So if you can do that, fuck. I mean, this guy is multi-million. He's making money too, unlike me and Megan. Chelsea's making big bank, but he's making big bank too. Megan's making big bank, but I'm making top ramen money.
Hey, but man, they earned it. You know what I mean? Good for them.
Good.
Absolutely. You know, I can't shit on somebody who worked their ass off and got somewhere, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. This lobster thing, where did the obsession start? Where did you first get that first taste of succulent lobster that just had you fucking happy?
I always like seafood. Crab legs were always my favorite. Like for my birthday every year, we go to the crab house in Wildwood before my dad passed, and I would just get like fucking 30 blue crabs and just smash them with a hammer and eat the meat. And that was like always my favorite thing. But lobster, of course, has always been very, very juicy in my taste buds. But it started, I would rent a van. So when I was busting out in wrestling, promoters found out that I was coming up. My name was getting there, but they found out that I had the ability to. I knew my friend Billy. He's the grandson of Avis, who owned, Avis Car Agency.
Yeah,
Avis is his grandson.
Oh shit.
So my friend Billy, I met him as a wrestling fan at PWS, but we became really, really good friends outside of wrestling. And he would rent me vans underneath the table. I would give him cash. No credit. I never really had a credit card or anything like that. I would give him cash. So we'd have the ability to rent a giant passenger van and go into Canada for C4 or go to Beyond. And that would be another reason for them to give me a chance and book me. So it would usually be me, Chris Dickinson, EYFBO, Santana Ortiz, and Pinky Sanchez, and Jaka, of course, and whoever else was on the show. We'd load them in a passenger van, and we'd be all stoned up in the van, and I would always do this gimmick like I was the tour manager of the band, and we were going to play a gig somewhere in Canada. And I would always say, like, listen, boys, what's your performances going to warrant tonight? Is it going to warrant, are you going to be eating top ramen? Are you going to be eating top noodles? Or are you going to be eating lobster? Are we going to get lobster tonight or ramen? Lobster or ramen? And everyone would go, lobster, lobster. And we'd be like, yeah, let's all. We'd all kill it. We'd like, yeah, we deserved our fucking lobster tonight, baby. We all fucking killed it. Besides him, he can eat the 7-Eleven cup of noodles, but we're all getting fucking steamed lobster, baby. So then Jaka, R.I.P., he just passed away. If you didn't know him, he was tremendous talent, tremendous guy. And I rode the roads with him for many years. as we all came up together. He says, I know these shitty indie shows in Maine, and I want to get us booked on it. You want to do these shitty indie shows just so we can go up there and eat lobster in Maine. So we were going. So we would, before the show, we'd find I'd go on Google, find a top lobster roll spot. We go there, eat lobster roll. Then we go do this shitty indie show in one weekend. Then afterwards, we'd go find a place, get steamed lobster. And then the next day, before the show, we'd get lobster bisque. And then after the next, we get fucking lobster. That's where the whole thing came from. Basically, Jaka and me. And we're just like, if you perform bad, you have to eat bullshit. But if you perform good, you earn the right to eat lobster. So that's where it come from. And it always pissed off fans when fans are like, you suck, Janela. You're a piece of shit. Get off my TV. I'd be like, hey, you're the one that's typing. What are you eating tonight? Eating dog food. I'm eating lobster. Exactly like lobster. They would piss them off. And then there's people every day like, this motherfucker spent all of his money on fucking meth and lobsters. All of his AEW money spent on meth and lobsters. They say that they put them that's what I'm doing. I was smoking. Like if I was actually smoking meth, like I would have the appetite to eat lobster.
Yeah.
I just have the appetite for more meth. But yeah, that's what the whole lobster thing came from. It pisses people off. But I actually do I do eat a fucking shitload of seafood, and especially lobster.
Yeah.
If you follow me on Instagram, posted on my story. Me and Meg, we were eating fucking
good. Did you find a place out in LA to eat lobster or anywhere seafood out there?
Not really. We went to the one place. One time we went to the one place in Jimmy Lloyd's entire paycheck, GCW pay, and went broke on one lunch out in that's Santa Monica. What's the one with the pier? Venice Beach?
Santa Monica?
Yeah, there was some lobster place there where we all spent $200 on our meals, and then Jimmy Lloyd was I still was making that AEW money. I think that it was I earned it from the night before. But if I have a shitty match, I'm not eating lobster. I'm eating McDonald's because that's what my performance warranted.
The fish sandwich.
I love fast food, and now that I don't drink, I can eat whatever the fuck I want, and I stay in the same shape. It's fucking great.
Hell yeah. Take that as a benefit, right?
Yes. I eat fast food every day.
All right. Now we're going to talk about little Joey. What were the video games you dominated when you were a kid?
Video games. Oh. Well, it started with Sega Genesis. Sonic and Tails.
Mm-hmm.
Shinobi. The Ninja. Golden Axe. Streets of Rage.
Nice.
Mortal Kombat. There was some Mickey Mouse game that was pretty cool where he was on a magic carpet. I remember that one. Those are the games I liked for Sega Genesis. There was a Game Boy. I had the OG Game Boy. Played that a lot. I had then going in. I wasn't a PlayStation kid. I was N64. So nice. GoldenEye. The Pokemon games for that. Revenge.
Revenge
Mercy
was awesome. Yep. No Mercy too. I had that.
Like the other games, I played them like all the acclaimed games like Attitude and Warzone and the ECW games, but those sucked. But yeah. I still play them for the fuck of it.
So someone asked earlier, what are your thoughts on the backyard wrestling game?
I don't know. I think I played it. I think it was okay. I don't think it was something I went on my way to play. I think I had it.
Yeah.
I think it was cool seeing some of the guys in that game that, were on Ruckus was in it and them Dog 20 and shit. Thought it was cool. But yeah, I think it was all right.
Well, what music was Little Joey?
Who asked that? Kevin Gill?
Yeah, right. Yeah, KG.
That's like his claim to fame is the the backyard wrestling game, the backyard wrestling game, the backyard wrestling game. And he still talks about it to this day. Shut up.
It was so earlier in the chat. I can't even go back and find it. But no, not KG.
Yeah, that was Gavin Kill. Completely different guy.
It probably was.
I'm gonna look up the name now.
What do you think? What do you think of the backyard wrestling game?
I wonder if it's one of our regulars or if it's a brand new name.
Oh man. Favorite cereal? What were you eating back in the day?
Ooh, Cocoa Pebbles.
Ooh, good call.
Top of the
Favorite?
I need a Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles. Cocoa Pebbles I like more, but the Cinnamon Toast Crunch is good.
What cartoons were you watching?
Cartoons. I mean, I always liked little me would like old school Cartoon Network shit. The old Scooby Doo reruns were my favorite on there, especially when Scooby Doo was like Scooby Doo and celebrities. Like, Scooby Doo
The
and
Monkeys.
The Monkeys or fucking Harlem Globetrotters. I always liked those little shows. But then I like, South Park and shit.
Yeah, they fucked up Scooby Doo when they put Scrappy on. They knew they were jumping the shark.
I like Pup Named Scooby Doo too. I like that show too. I was a big Scooby Doo guy. Anything on the Cartoon Network, Flintstones, whatever. That was what I was watching, the old school. And also like the superhero, like Cartoon Network was hot back in like when they had all this Fantastic Four cartoon. They would have the Godzilla cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
With all the good ones, I liked everything, but I like for the most part all that.
What about toys? What toys did you like to collect? I know you said the figures, but
I like Power Rangers. I had every Power Rangers toy. I liked a lot of weird shit. In the model VR Troopers, Power Rangers, Beetleborgs.
Wow, I forgot about those.
Yeah, wow. I had all that shit, but it was mostly that and wrestling figures.
Yeah. All right. Celebrity crush. Who were you into back in the day?
Fuck, man. That's a hard one, dude.
Let's see. So it was
what age?
I was trying to get you in trouble over here.
We'll go. Yeah, I know, right? We'll get. Let's go 16 years old, 16 to 18-year-old high school Joey. Who's on your wall?
Was Megan Fox a thing then?
I think so. Well, let's see. I'm trying to think age-wise. Yeah, I think she would be somebody that would be right in that age group.
Yeah. I think Megan Fox was kind of hot to me in high school. That I would see girls and be like, oh, she looks like kind of like Megan Fox. I want to fuck her. I think that was it. I think that was like the big one when we were in high school, no?
We've gotten so many answers. We've gotten who did we get? B. We've gotten Topanga. We got her. Who else? One. Who else did we have? Like there has been like 3 or 4 basic same ones. Somebody, I think it was Too Tough Tony said Soleil Moon Fry, the lady who was Punky Brewster. Yeah, Screwball said Joey loves his Megans. So would you rather have a personal trainer or a personal chef?
Personal chef.
Yeah.
Tell fucking Gail Kim, that dumb bitch, to call her husband up to make me soup and a lobster, actually a nice lobster bisque.
I'm surprised we waited 3 hours to bring up that name.
I forgot about her, Ash. But she actually retweeted me. She came out of her crypt today to retweet me. She doesn't have CTE, that she's gotten brain scans. I'll call them brain scans, but they don't read CTE till you're dead. So who knows? But I think she's riding the CTE highway right now. Some of the shit she's been saying. Either that or she's gearing up for a fucking podcast.
I thought maybe
you just
there was
next
something
week's
there.
guest, man. Come on now.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, all the people were texting me saying you're doing a great job, kid. Like, who? Bubba Ray Dudley? Is he texting you?
Yeah.
Like, all people that have opinions themselves and are fucking losers in their own right. But it's a shame because I wanted to book Gail Kim for spring break last year. And I tried. I went different outlets to try to. That's when she had her falling out with TNA.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted her to be like enforcer or referee for like Meg at Ozilla. And that's how highly I thought of Gail Kim, to be honest. You know, that all these girls, they admired her and they liked working with her at TNA, and she was kind of like a mother to them, like a locker room mother to them. And I was like, you know, let's do something nice. Let's get her on spring break. And it was hard to do it. But then looking back at the last couple of weeks, I'm glad I did it because she don't give a shit about indie wrestling. She don't give a shit about GCW. She don't give a shit about anything. She shouldn't even be on the internet. She should be just living her nice life, eating French onion soup that her husband made her, one of the top chefs in the world, who makes some of the shittiest protein bars I've ever eaten in my life. But there's 100 better protein bars than that than Robert Irvine has made. But she should be living her life. But instead, she wants to go the route of shitting on this person and that person and whatever, you know. But fuck her. I don't respect what she's done the last couple of weeks, and I'd never book her on a spring break, and I hope I never have to see her. So,
Yeah, the whole thing was disappointing, and it came off kind of almost bitter. It was weird. It was
bitter. She shouldn't be bitter about anything, to be honest.
Yeah.
The deathmatch thing is one thing. It's not everyone's cup of tea. She shit on it, whatever. And Brett went in his way and dealt with it and said some shit, and which was, you know, it is what it is. It's, you know, that's his bread and butter is deathmatch wrestling. So it is, that clip was, people were, you know, shitting all over, saying, what do these guys work for, Hot Dog and Handshake? Like, no, these guys actually, you know, this is for a major movie that will be in theaters and will debut at prestigious film festivals all over the world. Like, I think they think like, it's like, no, this is a big deal. So I would have took that bump 100% or gone through that bump for the money they got paid for that bump and the money it's going to generate. But I see where they're going for it. But then her going on a tangent, going on about Riho and how she looks like a little, using Jim Cornette, like, what do they call that? Keywords. Like, she looks like a little girl, schoolgirl, you know.
Yeah.
Schoolgirl type situation. Well, she didn't say that, of course, but she was going in that direction and appeasing, and then Jim Cornette is retweeting her like, yeah, keep going. Like, yeah, you're on our... Is she gearing up? Is she checked out now? Is she gearing up for her fucking grifter podcast? Is she going to be on that little fucking twerp that's on the podcast with Stevie Richards? Is he going to be interviewing her like these fucking losers that, you know, it's an easy way to make money. Like, if I ever get like that, I'm going to write, like, if I ever get to that point where I start hating shit and hating on shit on the internet and then make a podcast to make money by hating on shit, just fucking get a sniper and just fucking shoot me fucking right in the fucking neck.
You sound like us. Literally.
Shoot me. Just shoot me.
No shit.
Like, I'll be out. I'll tell you, there'll be some kind of show that's outside at some kind of fair or some shit. Just shoot me or something. Charlie Kirk style in the fucking neck.
I just know that we just decided not to do any of that bullshit because it doesn't get anywhere. You know, there's so many easy times where people can just sit around and bitch and call everything terrible. And it just makes no sense because there's a lot of people who have never built anything before. So it's easy for them to tear down something that was built by others. But usually when someone has to work hard for something on their own, they have a higher respect for the work that others have put towards things.
Yeah, I never want to be in that. I never want to be one of those people to, like, Ricky Morton is the perfect, like, this is how you should be. Accepting to everything, you know. And if you don't like something, you can give a critique to it instead of shitting on it, you know. Ricky Morton is like the greatest. He understands professional wrestling. He understands the direction it's gone in, and he understands the direction it's going in, and he realizes the way he makes money is to work hard still and be influence to some of these young people, you know, that they can go to and ask questions to and shit, instead of going on and taking the easy route and just shitting on whatever they see.
Yeah.
But that's like that's it. It's like, that's like one of the, if you like These people just fucking suck. And Jim Cornette, all respect to him. I listen to his podcast every week, and I've said this 100 times. What a brain that guy has. And you hear stories on that guy's podcast that, that are great. Like, great stories. Great knowledge of the business. And some of the shit he says about wrestling is funny. Like, I laugh at it. The stuff he said about me, I laugh about, And he knew the whole time when we'd do all this shit and go back and forth and bicker on Twitter that, I was being a worker as well. But I think everyone under Cornette, everyone that models themselves after that are phony copycat schmucks. I think Jim Cornette has his lane and he can do whatever he wants in it because he's been doing it, but all the grifters that came after it, especially the ones that haven't done anything in the business, like the JDs from New York, and that guy, he's bitched out to me and apologized for everything just because my fans and me were going a little bit too hard on him on social media. So he wove the flag at me, and so I'm done with him.
Yeah,
it's fine. Guys like that just shit on business. Then there's the guys there's the influencers that could be people in the business under these burner accounts, and some of them are. And I know that for a fact. Some of them are these big heavy hitter influencer Twitter burner accounts that just, I know some of the people that are behind them, and it sucks, but so I don't fuck with them.
Yeah. Man, oh man. Couple more questions. We'll get you the hell out of here. Worst shoot job.
This might be the longest interview, guys, you ever did. No.
Sadly, probably not, but it's up there.
You're in the atmosphere. We've had a couple run close to 4 hours, man. People get talking with us and they just go, and we just chill.
Brett, his big mouth. How long does he go?
I don't think we've ever gotten 3 hours before. We've gotten close though.
I've tried to be nice and cut him so I don't feel like we're wasting his time. You know what I mean? Sometimes I go, "Hey, man, it was nice to have you here." Staring at each other for 3 minutes.
Well, thank you guys for wasting my time and saying, "Oh, this guy's not doing anything tonight. He's not doing anything in his life." Megan is at TV right now. He's sitting home alone doing nothing, smoking cigarettes. We could take all his fucking time.
Yeah. What it is with Brett, he comes in with this air like, "Hey, I've got things to do. I'll come on for a little bit." You know what I mean? So we try to respect it. He's been really good with us. So I pick up his vibe and just go with it. Okay, thank you for your time, so on and so forth.
Yeah, he has children, so.
Yeah, I'm not going to get in the middle of that. Worst shoot job you've ever had?
Door-to-door solar sales.
Ooh, that's got to be rough.
Yeah, I've gotten guns pulled on me and shit.
Oh,
the first couple, but it was actually fine for a few months in the summer and warmer fall. It wasn't bad. Like if you got a pitch down right, and you made the people believe, like, I would just go, you see all these solar, this is when the solar boom was happening. I would just go, you see all these solar panels going up in your neighborhood? That's us. And they're saving this under electric every year. And then they would believe me and I would get paid for that. But then you get into winter and it'd be a snowstorm and they'd still be like, you got to go out and fucking canvass the town and get people to get solar. That was the job I had going into during Zandig. Bump.
Wow. Interesting.
I drove for Uber and I did solar, but I always delivered pizzas and shit. And actually the worst job I ever had was during when Hurricane Sandy happened, right before that in Jersey. My mom's boyfriend got me a job through his friend for the manufacturer who made metal credit cards. Like the gold cards and shit.
Yeah. So
I had to be interviewed by the FBI, everything. And I would have, at that time, I had to have a good, perfect credit score to work at this credit card plant because I was making the gold card, MasterCards, whatever. And that only lasted about 4 months because that was like the worst job ever. They would like get up at 5 in the morning and just fucking go to this and cut credit cards or whatever. It's like every station there's a different thing. Like you're all working on one credit card, but every station it's doing a different thing for the card. One station is putting the chips in, the other station is putting the stamp for the letters, and then putting all the secret shit into the credit cards to make them like, like the gold like foil. I just couldn't do that one. I don't know how people can work in like plants like that and shit. That was brutal.
Just listening to podcasts all day long and moving your hands is the only thing I'm thinking.
I don't think we can listen to anything at this plant. I think it was pretty strict. Wow. It was really strict, to be honest. And I was like, this is not the life to like. Everyone would be like, a lot of them were immigrants, but they were legal status because they had to be. Because it's a federal job. Like you have to do an interview with the FBI before you, like, in the first month of working there. They come in, they interview you to make sure you're not like some kind of, you're going to steal the cards or something to do something with them or whatever.
Yeah.
But a lot of people be like working 7 days a week because they would be like, oh, we got this new, like, at the time they were like, they would not only make credit cards, they make like Starbucks, like to steal like Christmas cards. Like, we got this deal with Starbucks now. We're going to be making all the metal cards for Starbucks for the holiday season. So then they would have everyone on top of the MasterCard or Discover cards, whatever. They would have everyone work double overtime weekends. So people would be working for like 3 months straight, no off day for the double overtime. And I was like, I just want to fucking wrestle. So I can't. So they were getting pissed at me. And I just like, I can't do this. That was probably the worst job. Delivering pizzas was always the best.
Delivering pizzas was fun when I was younger. I did that through my college years. It was just kind of, I don't know, we just smoke weed and drive pizzas around with some friends in a car. And
I worked at some lucrative pizza places, like with catering and everything. Like, I would make more money sometimes delivering pizzas than I make in a week now wrestling. Especially during the holidays, like December. I could clear only working Monday through Thursday, sometimes Fridays. So I wasn't traveling too much at the time. I was doing mostly. So if I had a show Friday night locally in like Allentown, Pennsylvania or New Jersey, I could drive after work. But I would sometimes clear like $2,000 a week just delivering pizzas during the holiday season, because a lot of it was catering too. There was like 12, and there was also 8 drivers a shift. So it was pretty fucking wild. So there was a pretty lucrative, a lot of backstabbing. People like taking, like, hiding receipts for, like, they know this ShopRite, their corporate center in Edison, New Jersey, they're going to do a big catering order. And when they do that, they tip you $500. So people would pocket those receipts, and then they would know that, oh, this is mine, and take it because they knew it would be a $500 fucking tip. Shit like that. It was pretty lucrative. I mean, if all else would fail on me right now and I get canceled for something, or I wouldn't. I hope not, because I'm not that fucking stupid. But I just go fucking deliver pizzas. I just call those people again and be like, "Yo, remember me? I made it in wrestling somewhat, but yeah, cancel me." So, can you still have a spot for me to go deliver pizzas again?
Yeah.
I swear, I was making, like, seriously, like, usually like 1,000 a week, 2,000. I wasn't even working Friday nights, Saturday nights.
So you're working the off days.
I was working off days, still making fucking.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So quit indie wrestling, guys, and go deliver pizzas at Goodfellas.
You know, that might have been the most veteran thing you may have said tonight so far. Is quit wrestling, guys. Go straight to the pizza place.
Yeah, they were. I wonder if those bosses realized they had to realize they made it in some kind of capacity in wrestling, because they knew I was cool with them. Like, they would get pissed at me because, like, one time I found like a lost dog, and that was during an order, and one time I stopped a drunk driver, and that was during an order, and they almost fired me twice. And I had to tell the cops for them to not fire me, because they're like, "Oh, he did stop a drunk driver, but they're probably like, he was a pain in the ass. But then I made it in wrestling. They probably had to realize, like, shit, he did make it. I can't believe it. That fuck. He used to come in hungover. We'd come in still drunk from the night before. When I was like 21 years old, from I go Seaside Heights when the Jersey Shore was hot, and then party all night, and then go deliver pizzas at 10 in the morning, and I would be like still hammered. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't. Jacob asked, "Did Joey ever get laid delivering pizzas?"
You know what?
Did you ever close the deal?
No. Hey, hold on one sec. I just need a bucket. No, I didn't. One time there was like a half naked like cougar woman who I think was like a cuck situation that wanted me to come in, and I should have done it, but I still think about it. She was hot. But
the one that got away.
I think she wanted to, for sure. And I never got there. I was like, fuck. I always looked for that address again. I was like, shit, I should have done it. She had like a long, like Def Leppard. I remember a Def Leppard shirt. Like, she looked like
an old school lady, huh?
Yeah. I was like, shit, hell yeah. And she was like, oh yeah, you're hot. You want to come inside? I was like, now I gotta go deliver pizzas, you know. But now then I was like, fuck. But yeah, no, I never really did that. Did bang a flight attendant once. That was cool. I guess that's kind of similar.
Somewhat.
Like, what are you doing after this flight? I'm going to my house. Can I come over? Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
somebody's getting served.
Yeah. She was serving me.
Do you last two questions. This one here. Do you have any ghost stories or spooky stories to share over your life? Has anything weird ever happened to you?
I mean, I wouldn't say ghost story. Like, one time when we were in high school, everyone from all the towns around us would go to the movie theaters in Hazlitt to it was like a teen bar, basically. Like, you'd all go in the woods. There'd be different schools, all the surrounding schools. Everyone would chill in the same thing in the movie theater. I mean, everyone would be fucked up off their ass. Like, it would be hundreds of kids every weekend at this movie theater. So it was basically like a bar, a good place, get drunk and walk around, act like an asshole, get sucked off in the woods, a little rainbow party, whatever. I don't know, in high school. But there was one time a guy decapitated himself in the parking lot.
What?
Yeah, we were all there, and there was these girls I knew. They found a head in the parking lot. It's in a Costco and a movie theater. You can look this up online.
Wow.
Driving around, they found a head just sitting in a parking lot, and then we all get rumblings that there's a dead body in the parking lot. There's a headless corpse. So we all run over there, and then the cops are showing up by the truckloads, and we run up to the thing, and there's a Ford Bronco with the window done. And there's a headless corpse hanging out the back of the Bronco.
Oh shit!
We're thinking like, oh shit. So everyone's like, oh shit, the gangs, the Mexican cartel, they decapitated some guy. But there wasn't like, what happened was the guy committed suicide, tied a fishing wire to his neck at one of the poles in the lot and floored the Bronco.
Oh,
it popped off his fucking head, and the body sent the body to the back, and that's why it was hanging over the thing headless, and the head flew 60 feet. So then we were like scared to walk around, like, so then there's a path that goes through the main park in the town to the thing, so we would all still walk it, but we'd all be freaked out, like, shit, ghost. And one day we're walking, and all of a sudden, seriously, hundreds of gnomes the week after on that path. Just
hundreds
of garden gnomes.
What?
That's my spookiest story, guys.
Oh, you know, it's funny. William Bruno in chat here, he said, I live 4 towns over. Everybody was talking about that incident.
Yeah, it was crazy. We were there that night. That was the first night I ever smoked marijuana.
Oh, that's shitty. Oh, that's a terrible way to
I was
start.
16 years old, dude. This guy, that's the gnarliest way to kill yourself. But
Yeah.
we always thought, like, even though when we found out the guy killed himself, we'd always think, like, oh, yeah, there were killers on this path, like the gnomes and all this shit. No one knows how the gnomes got there, though. We smashed most of them. There was like
How
gnomes
odd.
and there was like hundreds just like on the side of the path one day. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, how did these all get here? This is like 2 weeks after this guy was decapitated.
Huh.
We'd all go in there in the woods and get sucked off and play with titties at the movie theater. And
A little head.
up, and one day, the head just popped off. Found a head in the parking lot. Yeah, you can still find it. You can still find that article online. It was fucked up.
Huh.
Yeah,
And you happened to be there that night. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, we saw the corpse.
Oh, that's rough, dude.
First
Oh.
time I ever smoked weed. But yeah, I guess that's a spooky story. I don't know.
No, that's
I was like,
that's not
what's spooky? I was like, the gnomes was kind of weird. That was kind of like ghost like that. Something that you'd see on like one of these like 100 guardian gnomes once showed up on this path. And I was like, well, 2 weeks ago, the guy decapitated himself for this. So yeah, it was just a weird string of events. And then I think my sister was walking that path one night and with her friends for the movie theater. Some guy was stroking it. They ran away. So that's not a path. It's not a good path.
No.
It was good. It was fun. Drinking, stealing alcohol and drinking it on there.
Finding love.
Finding love. Lots of titties. Lots of girls flashing their titties in front of us young. We're like, everyone would gather around a circle after the movie theater. Like some girl, she'd always like her deal. Her gimmick was that she'd just show her titties.
Her gimmick.
And we everyone. It would bring everyone together. There'd always be fights between all the high schools. It mainly started by me, but I was a pussy, and then everyone would fight for me. It's always been that way. I'm the pussy ass bitch. It still happens to this day that everyone I cause a issue, and then everyone fights my battles. But yeah, it would bring all the high schools together. Whatever rivalries would be the whatever girl that wanted to show her titties behind the movie theater. This one girl always showed it. That was her gimmick. That was like, showed her titties. Like, oh, let us draw on her titties. Like, oh, we can write things on her tits. Looking back, it was weird, but we were in high school, so whatever, dude. And I was always the one to fuck up. Like, I was like, almost get laid or almost do this, and then I would just like blow my shot or something, and then end up getting laid instead, and I'd be the one like pouting in the woods. Like, I want to go home, and my friend's fucking some girl in the woods. Yeah, that was it. The Hazlitt Multiplex. If you were there, you were there. You know.
Oh man. Okay, the last question I had here. What would the young you think is the coolest thing about you now? If you got to sit down little Joey and just said, Joey, listen, man, I know things are a little rough right now, but 20, 30 years from now, things are going to be a little different. I'd like to tell you about some things I've done.
Dude, it'd be so weird hearing that. Be like, Joey, you wrestled Sabu in his final match. And
yes.
4 weeks later, he died, and then everyone said you were the murderer. Have fun.
Yeah,
like,
enjoy high school.
I'd be like, oh no, did I kill him? No, but just all the guys, like all the names I wrestled and shit.
Yeah,
and all the cool, like, yeah, you do make it on TV. Something called AEW. Like, what the fuck is that? Yeah, it's some TV wrestling company that comes along, and you do good there for a couple months, and then they put you in a feud with Sean Spears, and then right after that, they put you in a feud with your ex-girlfriend and her new husband. And then they say, just have fun. After wrestling some great matches with some guy, Kenny Omega.
I love it, dude.
Yeah, I'd be so confused. I'd be like, yeah, you have your own show called Spring Break. Like, huh? What the fuck does that mean?
You're going to love it, kid. You're going to love it.
But you're going to have a lot of hot girlfriends.
There you go. See?
You're gonna fuck a lot.
Stay strong, kid.
Cool. You know how you're watching your friend fuck in the woods right now because you blew your shot with this chick? Well, you're gonna get it all back in the future. 2015, 2024, you're gonna be fucking like a monkey.
Fucking jackrabbit. Oh my god. B, is there anything that you wanted to ask, or any? I took up a lot of time tonight, but I had a ton
I think
of
we
questions.
covered all the grounds.
I was just about to say, yeah, I think we took enough of Joey's time, and yeah, we hit a lot of the major questions you had, chat had, and yeah, it was awesome.
3 hours and 38 minutes right now, but
Yeah, only,
That's
just
it?
half a work day.
and now I'm gonna go do my laundry and get ready. Now I'm gonna go to Orlando tomorrow, go hang out with my girlfriend. We go to Disney and stuff because she's a little Disney freak, and she drives me along to take pictures of her on all her Disney expeditions. That's like
You're the
worst part
photographer?
about it. Yeah, I mean, I've never been through this in my life. Like girls, they think they look like shit in every picture, and it's like, so you end up by taking like 200 pictures.
Mm-hmm. It's the price you pay, Joey.
And
Enjoy
then
it,
she's like, you want me to take the pictures of you? And I go, yeah. And she takes 3. I said, I guess that's good. Let's go.
Yep.
I was here.
Yeah, that's the price you pay for having a good woman there, Joey. Enjoy it.
Well, free Disney. Free snacks.
Oh my goodness.
I gotta go do laundry and pack my shit for tomorrow. I'm gonna jump on, but yeah, watch the shows this weekend. War Games. Hopefully, I don't catch on fire like I did last year. That was brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck Bubba Ray Dudley forever.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest losers in the history of the business.
Yes.
Didn't hit me up once after he lit me on fire to ask how I was doing. Cardona hit me up every minute of every day because he felt terrible. Bubba Ray Dudley is a fucking loser. And he's lucky my boys didn't run into him in Belmar now because they would have stomped him out. But because I never fight myself, like I said, my friends fight for me. And they seen him at DJ's in Belmar. They probably would have stomped him out a couple times because I complain about him all the time on how he didn't hit me up once after he gave me nearly third-degree burns. But he's not in the match this year. Juggalos are. I'm in it again. Mr. Danger, he can do a majority of the sick shit. Not to just fuck around. Not with fire. Maybe I will. We'll see how I feel when I get there. But see if I do fire. We're we have more losses with fire than we have wins. So
yeah, keep it away from the hair. You know how it
keep it away
goes.
from me. Keep it away from Murdoch. Won't even be there. Keep it away from him. But Pondo's in the back. Definitely keep it away from him. Tough Tony is the only one that's good with the fire because he can light his fist on fire and then he can put it out on his leg somehow.
Yeah, he has superpowers. What you gonna do?
Yeah, and he has superpowers. But watch it on Sunday, and let me put another kid on the map. Flying Ryan, mark my words, it's gonna be a banger.
You heard it right there. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. What we have seen of him, we've been putting him over. We like him a lot. We think that GCW needs a nice new young guy to really come in and just build from the ground up. And I have a feeling this is the one that could be doing it for us.
We'll see this Sunday. If I have a good match with them, everyone, as soon as if they get up and hit the ring with their hands, then I did my job.
You heard it. You heard it right there, guys. All right, Joey. Thank you, Mr. Simpson. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much, Joey.
We'll see you in LA.
Yeah, I'll see you in LA. I won't kill anyone till then.
I figured I'll see you in LA just to tell you thank you when we do see you there, man.
You gave me in LA on a white Bronco riding up the freeway.
That's the entrance right there. Yes.
Oh, see if Cardona can get you a
Cardona's
white Bronco.
entrances. Yeah,
drive right entrance. I wish we could bring a white Bronco into that building, but we can't.
Oh my goodness.
If we try hard enough, we could probably get it in the front. We just have to start with a real, hit it about 45 mile an hour. It should take the front doors right off that thing.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me. Maybe we do
thank
part
you so
2
much.
next year.
Absolutely,
yeah,
man.
we got to talk to you again, brother. Thank you so much for your time.
Kill another wrestler, another famous wrestler.
Yeah,
Shit.
we'll keep in touch for the next.
All right. I'll see you guys later. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Joey. Have a good one, brother.
Bye.
All righty. And there we go. And just like that, I have to say thank you so much to Joey Janela. There we go.
There we go. Yes, that was awesome. That was way more than we expected. And yeah, that was amazing. All those fun stories that he had. I definitely want a part 2 with him. I think we definitely could easily fill another 3-hour podcast with part 2.
Oh, yeah. It was everything that we wanted. He comes on, Joey being Joey, just giving his personality and giving us stories. And that's everything we wanted. I'm not going to lie. I could have had a lot more questions there, and I'm thankful that we didn't, because when we see this gentleman again, we will have some more for him. So
I think that's one of the next interviews right there. We got to get Bane on to tell all the stories that Joey didn't tell about himself.
Yeah, let me tell you about this side of the story. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, let's just cut it here for the night, just to say we did it. This is almost 4 hours here that we put in, and yeah, I think that's all we're getting to tonight, guys. I'm so sorry.
Go check out GCW Alaska. Go check out Bloodsport.
There you go. This weekend, Fight Club, night 1 and night 2. Definitely check that out. Saturday, 8 p.m. Off the top of my head, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and Sunday should be 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. Yeah, maybe double check me on that. I had it all written up, but I took it down because we were just having a good time talking, and I didn't want to go too hard, too far into that.
You were right on the times. Good job.
Oh, nice. Yeah, well, it's kind of the same for AC. AC Saturday is always that 8 o'clock. Sunday is generally always going to be that earlier, 5 o'clock spot. So, yeah, I'm blown away. I'm very thankful. I feel like we did it tonight. We earned a half a day's of work right here. We just did 4 hours.
Like you said, it's about time we got the bad boy on here.
Yeah, I think that was definitely necessary. Everybody keep your eyes and ears peeled. I will let everyone know when we do have the next guest coming on. I'm actually trying to look to see right now if I have the date for that next individual.
Wait, I thought you posted
I have it right here. October 21st will be our next one, I believe, and I'm working on that one right now. And as soon as we have that all finished up and ready to go, we will let you guys know about it.
Yes, going to be another exciting one, that's for sure.
Fingers crossed, man. We'll see what happens here. All right. Well, thank you again, everybody. Anything else?
No, I was just going to say the same thing. Thank you all for coming in. All the great questions. Joey was amazing tonight. Very generous with his time. And yeah, definitely look forward to part 2. Maybe get a Megan Bain interview coming up here. As ZMZO said, maybe one day we could get them both here. We will work some stuff out here.
We're doing what we can, and we're going to continue to do more as long as we're given more rope to do it. So yeah, if that's a possibility, we will be bringing that to you for sure.
Yeah. Thank you, Clown. Thank you guys all again so much. And yeah, we'll catch you next week. Talk about Art of War games. Hopefully it'll be a lot better to talk about this year compared to last year. As you said, I think it will be a lot better just because we don't have any more damn Bubba Ray involvement in GCW.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you again, everybody. Let's get the hell out of here. Thank you for coming in tonight. Long
live GCW. Let's get him out of here.
Love you and good night.
Thank you all.